On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex zone. Neighborhood all in your eardrums. I ain't never scared like Bone Crush. Boy, I got God, don't fear none. My line busy, take no calls. Feels like I don't have no flaws. Snakes in the grass, cut those off. Yo, squad shitty, my bros raw. No breaks, we go. Throw shade, that's a no. Go high, go low. Like spinning in a 644. Cash money like 504. Ball like AD24. No sleep, need more. Pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up. Ooh, I'm a real one, my day ones. Try speak up, can't say none. Try dig dirt, there ain't none. I make the money that save up. 10, 80, my save ones. Take to the top from the base one. New car, race on. Fast lane, pace on. With the booyah, that's a flex. Not human, I ain't from another planet. I'ma teleport, might vanish. I'ma wake up, do damage. Jordan number 7's Bordeaux. Working all night, need more though. I remember nights I was poor though. Pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up. down, levitate. Going up, elevate. Watch me demonstrate. On time, never late. I grind, celebrate. No pump fake, hesitate. I've been scoring every day. Champagne Perrier. Since 9-3, been in the box, now I'm stepping up to home. Like straight out the sand lot, now I'm plotting on the globe. I work hard, I show love, that karma steady growing. Got this far, I go hard, let God take control. I was starving skinny, now my weight up, got no energy for haters. See you trying, see you later. I'm shooting for the stars, need no laser beam blowing like the greatest, but it's one who's always greater. Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast. Go deep, I OD on them. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Go dummy, go beast on them. I go beast. Go deep, I OD on them. Apply pressure, put heat on them. Put that 500 degrees on them. 500 degrees. Smile good, skin clear. This here my year. Hey, look up here. This here my tier. Same fit 4 days. I grind 4 ways.
Yo. Welcome. Oh man, welcome. Shout out to the old subscribers. Shout out to the new subscribers. Shout out to y'all who've been rocking with me from the beginning. Shout out to everybody for being here. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the homies. You know what I'm saying? Boy Noich. Then Dios. All that good stuff. You know how we get down. Good to see y'all back. Your boy is back. Took a week off. You know what I mean? Took a little light vacation. Your boy had to move around and stretch his legs a little bit. You know what I mean? Had to get out here and get it done. But yeah, we back. And we got a strong topic we're going to discuss this afternoon. So we all know it's election season. And of course, we have topics that come up within the community. And I haven't seen too many people talking about this one. And I'm surprised that I haven't. So I was listening to Anton talk about reparations because Dr. Umar Johnson was talking about how all these different races don't want Black Americans to get reparations. So I had to think about it. I was saying, does he have a point? Now, my personal opinion, right? I won't give my answer specifically, but we're going to get there. Now, my personal opinion, other races don't really matter because Dr. Umar Johnson's angle is to try to say, oh, well, y'all need to stop having so much faith in all these other races, is all this mixing and all this people of color and all this other stuff y'all trying to do. That's Dr. Umar's standpoint. Is y'all need to chill with all that. Y'all need to chill out with this unity with all these other races. Okay. First question is going to be, so what are you offering, Dr. Umar? Where's the school at? First thing. Your main contribution to the community was supposed to be building a school for boys. Have we seen it? We still waiting on that school. So I'm not going to monologue too long because I do want to get into this breakdown of Anton from the Millionaire Morning Show, formerly with the Lapeef, talking about his perspective of everything and how he had to break it down. I think Bruiser came up here and a couple other people I think came, but he breaks it down. And his viewpoints were very interesting because I have not heard very many people break it down the way Anton actually broke this one down. And I'm going to tell y'all what, Anton is starting to get more and more red pill the more I listen to him. And that's facts. I'm going to keep it a buck. Y'all hit that like button. I'm going to keep it a buck. Anton, the more and more you start to hear his content, he sounds more and more manosphere. I'm just telling you, like, I'm sorry. It's so many people who doubted and hated on the manosphere in the beginning and said, y'all this, y'all that, y'all misogynist, this or that. But everybody seems to be using the talking points. everybody seems to be saying and sounding the same. It's interesting to me how Anton got confused with the manosphere. And we had to get out there and vehemently state Anton is not, nor has he ever been manosphere. Matter of fact, he hated against the manosphere. But his viewpoints in the last show he did this about a day ago, right? And I thought there were some very interesting viewpoints that I think that we need to talk about more. Because a lot of stuff he was saying, you don't hear people say very often. Okay. Because if you ever disagree with reparations, it's almost like you're automatically some type of racist, race traitor, race hater. You hate your people. We're going to see what he's talking about. Let's bring it up. Let's get right into it. All right, now here we go. Now, right now, what we got on the screen, we got Anton, and he's talking to Bruiser. Now, I'm not gonna run through the whole thing because it was long, but what we're gonna look at is how he breaks stuff down to Bruiser. And the thing is so many brothers who are in Bruiser's position or in his shoes, and they don't understand, right? Or they just don't get it. And it's interesting to see their reactions to certain things that we all talk about over in these spaces. But when you see it get broke down in front of Bruiser, it's just like his world just melted in front of him. Like he didn't understand how to operate. But like I said, is this very, very good talking points. And I want to get into it. So we're not gonna play the whole thing. I'm gonna jump around a little bit because I want certain points to get talked about, but let's get into it. Fair use, fair use. See, make sure y'all can hear it. Let me know if y'all can't hear it, but you should hear it. But let me know if you can't.
Listen, I know I'm a C student, but all I'm saying is, if another country come over here and kick our ass, and then after whatever the fallout is, whoever it is survive, do they have a right to go to China and say, "But we want you to compensate us for destroying our land"?
No, they don't. And that's not my argument. So you're creating a scenario that I'm not even pushing. The scenario I'm trying to give to you is, let's say we go to war with China. And during the war, we just start finding every Asian American or Chinese American in the United States that was born here, we start incarcerating during the war just because they're Chinese citizens. So after the war, according to history, what happened to the Japanese Americans during World War II, those Americans were reparated. Because they were wrongly interned in camps.
I don't think they should have been.
I don't think they should have, and America didn't think they should have. That's why they've been reparated. But let me ask
you. But you missing a point though, Bruiser. One of the points is the why, right? We don't just give away, or people don't get reparated because people feel like they did something wrong to the people. And this is the problem with Black people. They don't understand politics, right? They don't understand business. They don't understand money. The reason why people get reparated is because there's always an ulterior motive that's associated behind it. We don't just give money to other countries because we feel sorry that they going through problems or they getting destroyed or whatever like that. Because if that was a situation, then we would be going over into the different countries that has turmoil and chaos like Haiti right now, and we would liberate them from what it is that they're experiencing as far as the civil war that's happening within their own borders. We don't do stuff because we feel sorry for people. We do stuff because there's another motive or another reason, underlying reason as to how it could either benefit us, it could paint us in a better light for other people that we're trying to do business with as far as other countries.
Now, I wanted to pause on that because right there, if you run back what he's saying the government pays out with an intent to say, we're going to get something out of this, or it's going to be in our advantage to hand out these reparations or whatever the case to these specific people, because it's a business deal that the government is getting something out of this, right? They're making deals. It's not because they necessarily liked those people. It's because they see benefits long term by shaking hands with those people, because there's power behind those people. In a minute, I haven't seen all of it, but he's going to get into why exactly it is that they got behind advocating for black people to be free and not be slaves anymore. He's going to get into that too. But keep that in mind. The government thinks more from a business perspective, not so much that we like you. All right. That's something that we got to keep in mind. Let's keep it going.
There's always an ulterior motive. What black people are failing to realize is that they don't understand that people are not giving them something just because they're begging for it. If you want something, you have to incentivize or give people a reason to actually justify putting this country in even more debt than they already are, because they can't afford to even service the debt that we already have. You have to give the country a reason as to why it is that they should do it. That's the true nature of what life is. And if you study nature, if you study history, if you study the history of slavery for over the last 700 years, you would understand that at no point did anybody ever give something to somebody because they felt bad for them. That's never happened in the history of.
And I'm not advocating.
As a matter of fact, if you go by Christian principles, which is largely the foundation of what the majority of these laws in this country is based off of, God said, wipe out everything that we don't agree with. When he would command the children of Israel, and he would command different tribes to go into and war with other countries in order to take over their land, he didn't say, hey, they don't deserve to get it over there. He said, go in, wipe out everything, destroy everything, kill their babies, kill their children, kill the kids, kill the mamas, don't take their chicks as concubines, don't do nothing. And he would punish them, and they would be punished as a result of being disobedient as a result of it.
So, well, let me ask you this, Anton. What was the motive behind Tulsa race massacre?
I don't know.
You
said Tulsa?
Yeah, well, they lost about $200 million in business and economics.
Well, black people lost $200 million.
Well, I'm saying, like, so you saying in that case it was just a loss?
No, black people lost. Yes.
And I always understood.
Now we're going to pause right there. That's going to be a reoccurring thing. The idea that black people lost. Anton is saying we lost. So what are we supposed to do about that? Because he's saying that without incentive, how would you force and or push a government to then give cash profits to one particular group of people without incentive? Now, our country is already in debt. Trillions, if I'm not mistaken. So what would be the incentive for our government to give us reparations? Cash payments, which of course would topple the economy, shift things around. What would be the incentive? I'm not saying an agreement or a disagreement. I'm only asking the question. If we have to think of things as a business, and we have to look at it from the perspective of what I've never heard before, when Anton was saying, Anton said we lost. So the question we would ask ourselves is, how do we win? How do we win? Let's see what Anton says.
Tulsa to be more of a citizen thing, right? It wasn't a government thing. It was a citizen thing where you got the KKK, you got disgruntled white folks as citizens that's putting that work in, but it's not the government. But my question to you, Anton, as well, what about the trauma? If, let's just say again,
you're saying the government, so you're saying the KKK had access to military planes to fly bombs over?
Well, no, I'm not. Well, if that be the case, because
people keep saying that it's a debt owed. I see people in the chat keep saying it's a debt owed. Based off of what? And then when you ask them based off of what, they say because they gave it to this person and they gave it to this person and they gave it to this person. That doesn't mean it's a debt owed. Nobody ever substantiated that anybody owed anything. They're just asking for it based off of relating it to other people that has received reparations. that does not mean it is a debt owed. You can't tell me I owe you something based off of what? How you feel?
No,
based
no,
off of stuff that I
the
did
Tulsa, the
somebody
money
else?
that's lost in Tulsa should be owed based off of the insurance they had for that the business they were running. They
Okay,
had
then go and
insurance
get
and
it
they
then.
were paying taxes.
Then go and get it.
They haven't got their 200. I think it was anywhere a range from 30 million to 200 million in damages that they haven't received yet. And then when you got the Red Summer, you know about Red Summer 1919. There's $27 million lost on that. They had insurance on that. They didn't give
Then
them the money.
then go collect.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And then today, well, I mean, it's a lot of incalculable events like the 1950s and 60s, the urban renewal, displacement of residents. There's just no way to calculate that.
Listen, the
These
way that
people
I've
had home
understood
insurance.
history to work is that when you want something, you go and take it.
So you're advocating that if they don't do you right, they don't right their wrongs. You're saying that people should stand up and revolt and go and take it.
Either they could do something about it or they need to shut up. But either way, I'm just tired of hearing about it.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying because the way they're going about it is saying, hey, look, you owe it because you paid them, but there's nothing. They're not really substantiating and breaking down what it is. How do you come to terms of where you should be owed? And I'm actually just.
All right. Now that's the point. That is a point right there. Anton says you Negroes need to go and take it. Okay? Go take it. Y'all supposed to go take it. If it's owed to you, then go get it then. Question. Again, next point. How would you go about going and taking it? I don't know. Right? How are you going to go take it? Now I'm going to let Anton explain it. Right? This is his baby. These are his points. Because he is going somewhere. I've seen where this road ends. He's going somewhere. But it's interesting how his points start to kind of go away, and where it ends up, where it leads is very interesting, which is why I'm talking about this whole entire point. I said no reparations for Black Americans because we something. Because we what? Because we what? We need to go take it? I don't know. Let's see how Anton lands this plane, because right now, I'm sure that there was a lot of people who was not rocking with what he was saying. But let's see how he lands this plane.
Actually, you take a level deeper. You take a little.
If somebody come to me tomorrow and said, yo, your great great grandfather did something to my great 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 grandfather and he took his land, I'm gonna be like, well, your father should have been stronger about that situation. I don't owe you shit. I'm not giving you nothing. You ain't never getting a dime from me. I wish somebody would come to me and tell me that a great great grandfather that I didn't know and you didn't know took something from each other and that I owe them something as a result of it. I'll be like, man, suck my dick.
I got you. You coming from a man perspective, like a sovereign king.
How many of y'all disagree? Do you disagree? I mean, is he wrong for saying that? Is he? Right? Is he wrong for saying that? If somebody came up on your land, all of a sudden talk about, yo, my great great granddaddy and your great great granddaddy got into it, and you owe my great great granddad. So we're gonna take this out of cash payments out of your ass right now. What you gonna do about it? You gonna stand and fight? Tell them, hell no, I'm not giving up my land, my property, whatever the case. Some people will easily say, well, that's not the situation. Reparations is different. Okay. Maybe. Let's see where he's going.
That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna be like, bro, suck my dick.
Do something. Coming from a man perspective, but Anton, the government absolutely said its citizens have a right to vote, and it allowed its states governments that participates inside of the union to go against the federal law. So do the government owe reparations, any type of repair, if we got the mental trauma issue? And like I said, there's a 95-year setback where we had a right to vote, but we couldn't vote, and they allowed Jim Crow to happen physically as a government to its citizens. The government's responsibility to
Okay,
its
so
citizens.
go and get it then. What you gonna do? What y'all
Go and
gonna
get
do?
it.
What y'all
Go
gonna
and get
do?
it.
No, you're right. Because the Declaration of Independence is my favorite. When you don't like it, you got a right to tear it down. If you
Then
don't
go and
like
do it. Go and
I
do
like
it.
You know what I'm saying? I get it, but I just
I
want
got
to see where you-
my method
I
of
just want to see where you was at with that.
reparations.
Anton
My
trolling these
method of
niggas.
reparations don't include, hey, go give me this lump sum or go open up.
What do you think reparations should look like,
Now-
Bruiser?
Hold on.
My reparation.
Hold on. Before Bruiser gets into it, his version of reparations, I just want y'all to think about where this is about to go. Just imagine where this is about to go. What is Bruiser's idea of reparations? What avenue? What turn? You know what I'm saying? What bridge are we about to cross? Right? Where are we about to go? Okay? What is Bruiser's idea of reparations? Let's see where he's going. I'm interested. Let's go. I'm interested. Let's see what he's talking about.
Reparations need to look like men and women coming together, reestablishing love, specifically Black people, because we're talking about Black people being rep. Re-embracing marriage, you know, as a way of building strength in numbers, so that you can have some type of voting power on. So you can have some type of mutual interest that you can move off of.
You mean a new Black community, Bruiser? Is that what you said is the answer? Is that the solution? New Black community, huh? New Black community. Now, I'm playing this for a reason because there's a lot of stuff that I want a lot of pro-Blacks to understand. Why there's a division between your pro-Blacks, your manospheres, your SYSBMs, and your passport bros. You are about to see in real time the reason in the division. Okay, I've seen some of this, but this was so interesting that I had to do a playback on this because I want everybody to take note of how impactful conversations like this are. There's a point here. This means something. Okay. There is a point on this that these talking points that are paid, take note of the talking points that are coming out. I stopped it at this point real quick for a reason before Bruiser continues. Because I want you to see the avenue that this is about to go down, and y'all gonna start to understand what I mean. That Anton, I'm trying to tell y'all, for those of you who don't think he's on his red pill shit, I'm trying to tell you. I'm just saying that, brother, because you know what? Let me just play it. Let me just play it. I'm gonna let it rock. I'm gonna let it breathe.
So you can vote in, get legislation. You know, you can vote in politicians. You can build economy amongst each other in the community to where you can actually build businesses again. The only way we can do that is through strength in numbers, and it's going to have to do through our children. But we have to parent our kids under the same household so they can have the likelihood of being successful.
You know why the federal government ain't never got to worry about Black people ever getting reparations? Because Black people don't even, they ain't never got to worry about Black people coming together, ever.
Whoa. Whoa. Is he lying? Is he lying? What's the work of the whole entire manosphere right now? Just saying. I ain't gonna cut it too much. I'm gonna let him cook.
Ever. They
Especially
ain't never got to worry about y'all getting on code, coming together, none of that. At all. Listen, Black, because the history of it says that we divided against each other.
Talk
in
about
the American
we got
Negro.
Bloods and
You
Crips.
talking about Willie Lynch later?
We got Bloods and Crips, and they both Black.
Talking about the Willie Lynch? Oh no, you're talking about
Just the
gangs.
nature of how Black people think. You ain't never got to worry about Black people coming together to do anything except tear each other down.
Hold on. So you saying that was is that our original nature, or is that nature? Has our minds been tampered with?
We were sold into slavery by other Black people.
Well, okay, I get the.
It was
business
Black
aspect
slave
of it.
owners, Bruiser.
No, you looking at the business. I'm talking about you talking about the business aspect, selling.
I'm talking about the nature of how people think.
business. Hold on. Did you hear what he said? He said, "Oh, you talking about the business aspect? Like, family, you can't just overlook that and not hold your own people accountable for taking part in the things that assisted in our demise. It's funny how I was even having this conversation with my brother earlier today. This idea that we were this perfect community of people at one time in this country, and we can just wax poetic about our history and how we were just this maid in the shade, married and large families, and we were just running. We just had this perfect, you know, black community. When? When was it like that? When was it like that? We were forced to be together out of segregation. There was no dating out. You couldn't go anywhere. Jim Crow, slavery. I mean, at what point did we have choice? So I don't want to hear that. For me, that's a dead argument. And I'm not going to walk with nobody on that. You didn't have a choice as a black man at certain points in history. You didn't have a choice. There was no, oh, well, you know what? Let me just go over here to China, or let me just go over here. It wasn't like that for us. Not for us. So yeah, we were together under duress. Not necessarily out of choice. This idea that we were this great community, it was just lollipops and rainbows. No. That's a lie, and the truth ain't in you. And I'll tell you to prove it. Let's go.
I'm talking about that. I'm asking you about the nature of how we move, like divided, like we quarrel with each other. Like, where does that come from?
I just think that that's human nature. I don't think that any group throughout history has ever bonded together until it was under duress. All Chinese people don't fuck with all Chinese people. All white people don't even fuck with all white people. Right? What we like to do is we like to group ourselves off in order to align with people that can identify with our trauma. And that's never a solution to success. The only reason, in my opinion, that the alphabet community continued to be successful is that they all aligned based off of something that they wanted, regardless of where they stood individually. So you could be a gay guy, right? You could be a gay black guy. You could be a trans person. And then they just continue to add letters over into the alphabet because they seen a common thing that they wanted collectively, regardless of whether it is where they stood as an individual, right? You could be a rich gay person. You could be a poor gay person. It didn't matter if if this person liked you because they wanted to use the bathroom or they didn't like you, regardless, right? They all had a common goal. And usually, in my opinion, the thing that helps people align with each other based off of a common goal is being so far under duress that you have no problem but to respond.
What he's talking about right there is the one time that we all were unified under one idea. Is that we want these motherfuckers to get the feet off of our necks. Those were your civil rights. But outside of that, and up until now, there is nothing that pressures all of us enough to where we all agree, because we don't. He just said there is no one group of people to where they all agree on everything in that way. And black folks, we're not a special group of people that's all supposed to agree on one thing. We don't, which is why we have so many groups, subsets, ideologies, religions. We don't agree. We all didn't agree. Everybody didn't agree with Martin Luther King. That's not who we are. We are not a monolith. No matter how much they tried to beat that into your head back during Jim Crow, we are not one big Negro. We all don't agree. If we had something pressuring us enough to push us all in one direction, almost by force, then yeah, we might have a stronger chance. But like he just described with the LGBT community, they were all pressured under one thing that they all could unify under, which was having marriage rights. They were able to get things done because enough of them agreed. But we are not that people. We are not those people. And the only time we necessarily were was civil rights. Because it's just like, okay, let's get basic needs. Let's get basic rights. Okay, let's put this in play. Let's get this fixed. Okay, yeah, we could rally for that. Right? But outside of that, everybody's in different categories in different places and situations. He's going to break it down and we're going to keep going. Let's work.
Right? So I'll give you an example. When you talk about the freeing of the slaves had nothing to do with whether or not they actually looked at black people as a good thing. It was to weaken a specific group of people.
Listen up.
There was an ulterior motive that came along with the freeing of the slaves. It didn't have nothing to do with the fact that they liked black people or they wanted to give black people rights.
There was an ulterior motive with freeing the slaves. Let me ask you a question. Is that right or is it wrong? Is it right or is it wrong? The government saw benefit into freeing the slaves. There was an ulterior motive. It wasn't because the overwhelming mass of white folks who are slave owners or whatever agreed that, hey, you know what? We like black folks so much, let's just go ahead and free them. No. Now, a lot of y'all can hear that and agree to it. Okay. You can agree to that. So then when it comes to reparations, why is it so hard to believe that the same government is going to play by the same rules and say, reparations, what's your incentive? Oh, well, you supposed to give us this. Okay, based off what? All right, well, my great granddaddy owned this much land and it was stolen from him by the this and the that. Okay, that'll work. But see, that's an individual case. Again, you're trying to draw up a case for every single black person across the country. And on top of that, now we get to a bigger question. How do you define black? Who's black, who's not? First generation, second generation, trace your lineage to a boat. Now we talk about ADOS. Check this out. Everybody who rocks with ADOS doesn't all believe that they came off a slave ship. How about that? So that's another division of people who say, well, I can trace my family lineage to certain native tribes that's in this country. How do you square that? What are you gonna do about that? So you're just gonna start handing down monies to certain tribes? Because there's a lot of black folks who subscribe to certain native tribes under the DOS rolls and all this other stuff. What are you gonna do about it? You have to square a lot of stuff in order to really put this plan into action. It's good to say, well, we deserve. Okay, what's your plan and how you finna go about executing it? See? And shout out to Tim Howard. He dropped a good point. He said, plus a lot of black people don't know their biological fathers. Big facts. Big facts. For those of you, I'm sure there's a lot of y'all who try to trace your roots at one point or another. And generally, everything seems to get real fuzzy around 1820. Pre-1820, everything seems to be up in smoke. Because I've also done some of the work to trace my family roots. And it's very hard because there was a point where they weren't really keeping and classifying you by name, your property. It sucks, but that is our lineage for the most of us. Well, if you're black, especially, they didn't care about where you came from. They didn't care about who you were. They didn't care about keeping up with your family. So how exactly are you going to trace it? It's all kind of wished and washed and kind of Again, I'm not going to monologue too much. There's a lot of information I want to get through, so we're going to keep it rocking. But I want y'all to think about that.
It was an ulterior motive that was assigned to it, right? So when you look at all of how things happen historically, it doesn't matter about how people feel with each other until you actually have a common theme or a common goal that severely affects what it is that you have going on. I'll give you another example. As long as you keep
Quick point. I want y'all to think about that. Common goal, common theme. Y'all keep that in mind. It's going to come back. Just think about that.
people tied to a democratic mindset, in my opinion, right? You never have to worry about people commonly uniting under a specific mindset to get anything done within this country, because your dependency is largely going to be tied to somebody giving you something, right? Historically, people have never got anything that's asked for something. They've always taken it. Now, whether that be by putting somebody in a position of power that then advocates for them in the federal government, whether it be aligning with the enemy, even in the civil rights movement, the majority of the success came with aligning with other white people that then thought like them. It didn't come just based off of the idea that people wanted something and they advocated for it, and then somebody felt bad about it. People was willing to get spat on. People was willing to be freedom riders. They was willing to go inside of restaurants and get dragged out and made examples of. And even the Martin Luther Kings and all of them, they went to jail 1,000 times. You ain't got to worry about that happening in society today because everybody is soft. Everybody is soft now. And so nobody is willing to suffer. They only willing to complain about it. And that's the difference between the people of yesteryear and the people of today, is because they were already under duress. Slavery was already real bad. It was already being hanged in the South. So it was nothing for them to suffer through what it is that they seen to be a benefit to them long term, or what was going to happen to their ancestors.
Pay close attention once again. He said we were already dealing with or had done with slavery, already Jim Crow, lynchings and stuff like this. We had already seen and been through so much at that point to where obviously we all unified and agreed that something needs to be done about this. This is our first issue. So yes, we were able to unify under duress. We were able to unify under, we all have an issue with this problem. And we're all willing to suffer in order to get this knocked out. Okay? We were able to come together as a collective for once and say, we'll do what it takes to get this taken care of. Because this is a crime against humanity. And we won't stand up for this. So that was the strength of who we were back in the civil rights era. Shout out to our ancestors. Shout out to those who came before us, who got that work done in order to make that possible. But what Anton is referring to as far as, oh, well, y'all are quote unquote weak or whatever the case, there's not a rally cry strong enough that we all agree with. Us not getting reparations is not a crime against humanity. Because there are have and there are have-nots. To be completely honest, us not getting reparations has turned into more of an equalizer at this point. Theoretically. I'm not saying I'm for or against at this point. I'm only outlining what we've discussed so far. I'm just drawing context. I'm not saying I'm for or against at this point, because I want you guys to hear Anton lay this out. And then we'll get into our solutions at the end. You know how I do. You know how I rock. Stay tuned.
But when you see things happening today, people are too soft. They too coddled. Technology is too far along. The only time that you started to see resistance over in Ukraine is when they started getting bombed on. Then they started fighting back. They weren't proactive. They weren't sitting there trying to make sure that things happen and so on and so on. In my opinion, that's why we see North Korea as such a problem, right? Because he don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck. And so when you see people today, let me tell you what I see when I see black people today. Weak as fuck. Overwhelmingly, they not gonna do nothing. They ain't got nothing for you. The only thing that black people largely unite in is trauma issues and anything around the hip hop community. That's it. That's That's the only thing that they unite in.
Anton just told you what your culture is. Remnants of slavery and anything revolving around hip hop. Anton just told you what your culture is. Trauma and music / entertainment, if you want to make it more modern. Now you can be proud of that and say, yeah, we did good. We had a lot of great musicians. Of course we did. We all know we did. But is that all we are? Sing and dance? Do we get commended for our business acumen? Do we get commended for being great engineers? Right? Cybersecurity specialists? Mathematicians? No, we don't. Do our women prop us up and tell us how great it would be or how dope it would be if we started moving into more of a math and science career field, and tell us, like, I just love a man who's really into math or science? When's the last time you heard, well, any female, I guess they don't really say that, but when's the last time you really heard that being championed in our community, so-called community especially? When's the last time you heard anybody talk like that at all? Okay. We know what gets pushed in our so-called quote unquote community. We know what it is. But everybody doesn't see a problem with it. Everything post civil rights, it's like that was it. As Black people, we did our work. Our monument on this country was civil rights. Well done. Now, post that, beyond that, what have we collectively really gotten done? Food for thought. Let's continue.
Right? And so when you have a weak, coddled society that hasn't suffered enough, because I'm not talking about your ancestors, I'm talking about you. These people are weak. They don't even know what their ancestors went through. They don't even honor their ancestors enough to acknowledge what they did enough with their actions to actually go to the polls and vote. It's people that died for the opportunity for you to vote, and you don't even exercise that. That's how I know you're weak. It's because you don't even stand on the shoulders of giants to do the things that they died for. So how you gonna sit here and advocate for what it is that you want when they died for something that you're not even acknowledging in the first place? You don't honor your women. You don't honor your children. You don't love your people. You sell crack to your own communities, and it's easy to infiltrate you because you don't stand for nothing. And so we ain't never got to worry about, listen, the one thing that the United States ain't never got to do, all they gonna do is keep you on that titty. They're gonna throw you a couple little student loan forgiveness. They gonna give you a little bit here. They're gonna continue to tie you to the Democratic plantation. They're gonna have feminism coming in and infiltrate what it is that you got going on so that you can get distracted. They're going to then completely substitute the civil rights movement and what it is that's happening in the Black community with the gay agenda.
With the gay agenda. Well, I'll be damned. They say, good work, Negroes, on your civil rights achievement. Now we need to move you out of the way and put the LGBT community in place and make it the face of all your hard work. It's a shame that we get roped in with the LGBT community and all that other stuff, and Black women have to always be sitting right beside the gay man on any show, talk show, TV show, news show, broadcast you ever see on TV. Always has to be a Black woman tied in there because you got to add the double and triple and quadruple minorities. But listen to what he's saying. He said the government does not ever have to worry about you Negroes coming on one accord and doing anything as powerful as what you did in the civil rights. The government is not worried. It's not worried. Because they figured out exactly how to give you Negroes nigger trinkets enough to keep you pacified. Statues, monuments, schools in somebody's name. Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. Tax write-off. It's nothing. It's nothing. And you Negroes sing and dance in the streets or quote unquote march. And that's it. You just want to march. Okay? March. We're getting to a point here, but we need to outline first where the issue is. First, we need to outline what the issue is. And I want y'all to think about it because I know everybody has a default answer to a lot of the things that are being said. But you need to think about it and you need to listen. Because there's a lot of things that's getting put out right now, like I told y'all, you don't hear too many people often talk about. I'm not saying I'm for or against at this point. I want people to pay attention to what's being laid down, what's being said. Okay. He's giving you Negroes the mirror to look at and see how the outside perceives you. This is why a lot of them say we're children when it comes to the political sphere. This is why you hear the whole thing about butter biscuits and stuff like that. All I got to do is give you butter biscuits and you'll be fine. Nigga trinkets and you'll be fine. Is it right or wrong? True or false? Let's go.
Which is exactly what happened when you got a black president. And they're going to continue to distract you from the things that's meaningful to you because you haven't suffered enough. And until you actually completely under the thumb of who it is that you identify with the enemy, and America is smart. They've now figured out that you don't completely oppress somebody. You don't completely step on them. You just give them a little bit of breathing room, and then you ain't never got to worry about any kind of problems or trouble from them because as long as they're able to breathe, we know that they're coddled enough to actually not do the thing that's in their best interest.
Okay,
And
so Anton, let me ask you
never
this.
gotta worry about black people ever standing up for anything other than to get mad at the women that they having sex with and having kids out of wedlock, taking them to family court. You ain't never gonna worry about black people.
Got it. So let me ask you this. You pointed out all the points
Fair use.
where it can't happen. What does it look like if it were to happen? Like what would it have to look like? What would black people have to do in order for you to be convinced that, okay, this is a possibility that this shit can happen?
Gotta suffer. It's got to be meaningful to them. Listen,
So-
for anything that happen,
So you're saying it? Hold on.
anything that
If they
happen on
move-
a mass scale, you have to be willing to die for it.
If they move like you and I,
If
you don't
it-
think
listen,
that's enough?
Bruiser, for anything to happen on a mass scale, you have to be willing to die for it.
I get it. I'm willing to die for mine. You willing to die for yours, right?
I'm willing to die for what I believe in. Absolutely.
Okay, then. So I'm saying if we have enough people to move like us, like you and I, as a mass majority, you don't think that's enough to get the ball rolling?
No,
Then why not?
because we see it happening on YouTube every day.
Uh-oh.
We see it happening in our own neighborhoods. You can't even get these motherfuckers to pick up the trash from their own lawns in order to raise their own property values collectively.
Wait.
If-
So
listen,
you going backwards?
No,
You going
think-
backwards
no,
in
no,
that time?
listen, Bruiser. Listen,
Do you
Bruiser.
pick up your own trash in that time?
Listen, Bruiser. This is
Tell
what
the
I'm
truth.
saying.
Hey, I
If
do.
we
I'm
can't even
laughing
get
because I
people
own
to, if
property.
we can't even get people to care about their own households, what makes you think that they're gonna care about you collectively as a group?
But that's not my question. I'm saying just hypothetically.
It's not gonna happen, Bruiser.
No, I get you saying it's not going to happen. You're pulling out the points on why it won't happen. I'm saying, what does it look like for it to happen? Does it look if we get enough people to move like you and I as men and our wives? Don't you think that's strong enough to get the ball rolling?
No,
We are.
I don't.
Okay, so why not?
Because I think the loudest people. Okay, anybody that has a level of success is trying to protect that. Right? If I want to come at you, right? Let's say that I'm a dusty, and I'm a op, right? And I don't like you. Well, I'm not gonna come at you directly, Bruiser. I'm gonna come at the things that's meaningful to you. I think that the problem in the black community is the ones that's the worst of us don't have nothing to lose. You have something to lose. And so you're going to opt out of what it is that's meaningful to you. Think about Martin Luther King, right? Think about Malcolm X. They had wives, they had children, but they were willing to put their lives on the line and for them to become widows in order to be able to go through with whatever it is that they felt like their purpose was. Are you willing to abandon your family in order to battle the worst of us, in order to continue to get, because Martin Luther King was hated. Malcolm X was hated amongst our people. Our people hated Martin Luther King. We want to rewrite history and act like all black people was for him, but in reality, even to this very day, is people that still throw his name under the bus, right? And so if you think about it though, if I come at you, are you willing to abandon what's best for your family in order to stand for what it is that you believe is best for the black community?
Based on the terms I presented earlier in the question, yes.
I'm not.
I know that
you know why I'm not?
Now I want to say that's cap and that's a lie. Bruiser straight capping right there, nigga. That's a lie, bro. You know damn well that you're not gonna take food out of your child's mouth in order to break it down and make sure that the community, quote unquote, is gonna be in a better position. You know damn well most people ain't finna do that. Most people gonna be like, yo, these dusty dudes who are out here in the streets not taking care of business, not doing what they need to do, that's on them. That's on them. A lot of them are in positions because they put themselves there. It's not on people who are in better positions to break themselves down so low. Again, it was set up to say sacrifice your family in order for an overall quote unquote community to be stronger. For people who don't respect you. Go out there in the streets and play Jesus if you want. See how far you get.
You know why I'm not?
Hold on. Let me tell you why first.
Okay, tell me why.
If you reserve what I asked you first, when I said if we had an overwhelming Germany that moved like you and I,
mm-hmm.
and the way you and I would be down. I would be down with my people because I know I got a guy like Anton, a guy like Bruiser, that's pro nuclear family, that's focused on building wealth, that's focused on child upbringing in the best optimized situation so we can flourish.
You know, I gotta say this. You know, this is my thing. Even right now, before we really get to that point, I want to say something. It's interesting how Bruiser believes that there's this strong community of people who are just pro family, pro children, pro everything, just lottie-dottie sticking together. That's not the case, and it's not the majority. Majority of these women don't want to be married, my nigga. What are you talking about? Nigga, where, nigga? He's been married. So his perspective is, oh, this is just how it is. No, it's not, fam. If you were out here in these streets and you saw what it was and you understood how these women and these females are moving, they don't give a fuck about you, bruh. They're not looking to be married or wives. I get tired of hearing that from people. Oh, just go find the one. And where the fuck is the one? Also, bigger question, why? Where the fuck am I about to find this one at? And what the hell is my reward for dealing with her ass? You tell me where a one exists. This tribe of these 1% women. Where, nigga? Stop playing. You got married. Early. You got married, right? So it worked for you. Great. But family, that's a micro situation. We speak over the macro. We speak over the so-called community. We speak over black men in general, black women in general. Right? If I get a $50,000 raise in my job, how the hell does that help the community? So it's micro. It's not going to help everyone. Okay, you're married. So what? Nobody gives a shit. You're not running a business that is getting men married to women who are traditional, who are faithful, and who are looking to have children. You're not running a business, so most people don't give a fuck about you being married, nigga. They don't care. You can't tell us millennials shit about you being married, old nigga. You can't tell these millennials shit about you being married. That ain't gonna work. You have to come up and cook up another plan. Because you can wax poetic and talk theories about, oh, the black family this, and oh, if the black family that. Nigga, point to the black family. Where is it? Where is these strong black families at? For those of you who still do family reunions, the last time you were at a family reunion, ask yourself this question: how many of the aunties and sisters were still married? How many of these great families exists with all these bountiful amount of children? Where? Ask yourself that question. The last time you went to your own family reunion, for those who did meet up and show up, how many are married, still married, and been married with children that are thriving? Right? Where's the strength at? And you put so much hope and faith in. And because I believe that a lot of us are the average black person who grew up with family or parents that got divorced. Shit didn't work out, right? It didn't work out the first time with your folks. And you grow up trying to figure it out through whatever means and sources that you can. And you, in time, create and build your own family. And you work with people that want to work with you. The community's been broken. There is no verbal contracts, social contracts, anything like that that holds this together. It doesn't exist. But we're going to let Bruiser walk this road, and we're going to see where he winds up. Shout out to Simeon Toko in the building. Shout out to him. Appreciate you for joining, family. I think I made you a mod. You should be a mod. If I didn't, I think I made you a mod, cuz. Black Family Dial with James Evans. Oh, shit. Facts. Let's go.
I know we got strength in numbers, so I'm gonna do whatever it takes to preserve that. You get what I'm saying?
Assuming, but here's the problem, though, Bruiser. Here's the problem. You know why I'm not willing to do it? Because I'm looking at the legacy of those dudes that came before us, and they sacrificed their lives, and they died for what they believe in, and we don't even honor them today. For what? What did they die for?
So your mind is fixed on being honored later.
No, my mind is fixed on paying attention to how things happen historically.
Missed the whole point.
And I'm saying the same thing, but
I'm using history to justify that they died for nothing because we don't truly honor them with our actions. We just give them symbolic gestures.
Yep.
And so what was the point of their kids being raised without a father if all we do is shit on them and tell them and talk about their names? We talk about Martin Luther King like he's shit now. I see people have whole live streams about how Martin Luther King ain't shit. Why would we
that time? But what you're doing is you're sliding back whenever we establish a different scenario of a positive representation of men and women.
No,
we have that,
Bruiser.
We have that.
Now I want y'all to understand it and see. This is what happens when you try to talk to your unawakened black folk. They don't want to listen to reality. They don't want to listen to the state of how things actually are. They want to stay in a damn fairy tale about what they think it's supposed to be. Or they want to listen to the Negro tales of this so-called black community that nobody can see or find anywhere. And then Anton is laying down some real red pill shit on his ass saying, no, family, this is what it is. But it don't seem like, it's true, bruh. Or you just basically what Bruiser's at the point of, you just sound negative. Oh man. Woo. Boy, when people wake up, it is something to see. Because right now, I call it, blue pill rage. Because he's not wanting to wake up. This is blue pill rage. You getting mad at the reality of what's real. Anton is trying to tell you, and you want to keep, well, you keep dragging it back to, no, he's telling you what it is. He's getting you out of the fantasy and you don't want to go. And it hurts because your little dream is dying. Let's continue.
With the idea that strong people can make a movement. What I'm saying is that at what cost?
At what cost?
At what,
cost?
Is it worth it? The price that you and
Yes.
I would have to pay, or whomever it is would have to pay, is it worth the cost?
Yes.
I don't
If-
agree.
I'm mad. Hold on. Let me just.
I
paint this picture
disagree.
for you. Let me paint this picture for you. You might reconsider. If we actually had the overwhelming majority of Black people establish a community, we have something to preserve moving forward, and it was actually under attack, and we already know what it looked like before we got out of it. We already know what the shit looked like before we got out of it.
It's not
There's
under
no
it.
way.
But Bruiser,
There's no way you can sit here and say I'm not going to go out there and do all I can to preserve it, because I know if we go back to that,
but we not under attack.
I want y'all to understand something that Bruiser just admitted to. I want y'all to understand something that Bruiser just admitted to, and most Black men who don't know better also admit to. He said that he's willing to sacrifice in order to have this idea of his idea of what a Black community is. Understand, gentlemen, your community is led by women. Your community is a gynocracy. And you are saying that you're willing to fight and die in the streets for it. Because nothing about your quote unquote community right now is about uplifting or promoting you, Bruiser. Nothing. Nothing. Upwardly mobile, productive guys who make a certain income, who have a certain type of, we'll say, swag, background, demeanor, do not get championed or promoted in the community. We know this. So what are you fighting for, Bruiser? That's how deep this programming goes, because by default, his simp chip is activating and it's kicking at 110%. And he doesn't even realize it. How much he's defending the gynocracy right now at this point, talking to Anton. And of course, this is a civil discussion, but imagine when brothers get emotional about it and they ready to fight you and they don't even know why. To defend her quote unquote honor for a bitch that don't even care about you. Never respected you. But he's going to find out. Let's go.
You and I individually are not under attack.
well, I'm saying I was just painting a hypothetical scenario.
But you got to paint it. You got to make it realistic.
There it is.
Okay. Well, it's no way to make it realistic because it doesn't exist.
Oh, wait a minute. It's no way to make it realistic because it doesn't exist. Well, I'll be damned. Well, I'll be damned. Look at the body language. Look at that. It's called reality setting in on your ass, family. That's the look of reality. Because the only way that you can make it possible in your mind is to dream about it in fantasy and wax poetic about something that doesn't exist. This idea of this grand community that you have, this culture, it doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. We here on the ground level are telling you what it is. We here on the ground floor are describing exactly what this shit is. I told y'all. Anton on his red pill shit. I don't care what nobody say. Let's go.
It's just something. It's just a thought.
Which is why we never got to worry about it.
Exactly.
But that's where hope comes in.
Whoa.
Place. That's where the dream.
You know,
Did you hear this man? Just that's where hope comes. That's where the dream comes in. Look at the brother on the far right. He don't even believe that shit. That's where the dream. That's where hope. That's where dream. No, men get shit done. Children dream. You see that? Do you see that? And that is the majority of black men right now. Bruiser is a prime example of why shit won't change because most niggas think like him. You see it firsthand. You see exactly why. Shit ain't about to change no time soon. And like Anton just said, the government is not worried about us. Government is not worried about you Negroes joining on a unified front to do anything because we're too stratified. There's too many levels to us. There's too many levels. Hell, we got like 5 different groups in one black manosphere. Right? You niggas ain't about to unify to do shit. There's too many options for y'all. And we all have different problems. And then you got your default pro-black types like Bruiser who believe if we all just unified, man, nigga, ain't no unifying because everybody don't rock with you on that shit you talking. We not rocking with you, Bruiser. Even yo nigga from Lapeef, Anton, is telling you sound foolish. Your own nigga is telling you sound foolish. Anton ain't even going with you, and he's one of the closest niggas to you. This is why your dream is not gonna work, Bruiser. Hope is a flawed strategy, Bruiser. Men go get shit done. And I want a lot of brothers watching this to understand that there's a lot of men who think like a Bruiser, which is why we won't get shit done. Because you waiting on handouts and you waiting on your Jesus to come save you and you ain't doing shit. Ain't nobody coming to save you, Bruiser. This nigga really said he hoping and goddamn dreaming. How about you go get shit done and you fix your problems for your family? Fuck a community. Fix your family, nigga. Get out here. Get you a wife that's in order. Get your kids in order. Get your house in order. Don't worry about no damn community. Nigga, you backwards. And there's too many niggas who are backwards. And that's why I'm so glad spaces like this exist, where niggas can see in real time how they think and the flaws in their thoughts. Nigga, you are hustling 3 times backwards. Look at Bruiser. Look at Anton. As far as we know, Anton is a millionaire. As far as we know, Bruiser is not. I wonder why that could be. Can't use the race argument. Both these niggas bald-headed. Both these niggas got beards. Both these niggas got glasses. So I wonder what it is that separates Anton and Bruiser. I'll let you figure it out.
You know where hope is dangerous, Bruiser.
Well, how do you think we got here? It took hope. It
We
took a
got
dream, right?
by Obama selling us hope, and then he gave us fucking the LGBTQ community.
Obama gave you niggas hope. God damn, Anton is spitting. Let's go. He said you tried hope, nigga, and look where it got you. That nigga sound like Thanos. He said, I am inevitable. And out of all timelines you cross and everywhere you go, it always seems to bring you back to me. Yo, that nigga said hope is what got you here. Family, you tripping. Let's go.
Obama's whole slogan and his whole campaign was based off of hope.
Well, see what I'm trying to get you to think forward instead of pulling all of the bullshit.
Oh, I'm trying to get you to think different, Anton. You just sound so mean. You just sound so mean, Anton. Why can't you be a dreamer like me? This nigga's that nigga's crying. He's copping please. He don't want to go. He don't want to go. That simp chip is kicking at 110%. He don't want to go. That nigga Bruiser don't want to go. He said, I don't want to go, God damn it. That nigga said, I want to stay in the dream. I want to stay asleep. Keep me in the matrix. God damn. I don't want to go. This is what happens when you start talking real shit to niggas who all they do is dream about shit. This is the reaction you get. This is the reaction you get. And it's funny to me how Anton was the nigga who was hating on the manosphere. And everything I've heard so far from Anton in this podcast today was dead on red pill shit. And now he's having to combat his own house that he built. Because as far as I know, Anton is not in Lapeef anymore. His own house that he built, he's having to shoot back. Because Anton has now separated himself from Lapeef, as far as I know. And brothers like Bruiser, who are mainstays on the panels over there on Lapeef Network, he is now addressing them in a way to where it seems like Anton is coming from a whole different perspective all of a sudden. What is this, Anton? Are you waking up to the truth of reality of things? The realness of how things really are, not the dream anymore, like we tell so many niggas to wake up from. Anton, is this what this is, Anton? Are you waking up? Sounds like Anton is now telling other brothers what's really going down. And cats like Bruiser, okay, are starting to understand, are they seeing in real time, I've been lied to. Yes, nigga, it's called red pill. Wake up. This is what we do. This is what we do.
Shit with you.
I can't, because you can't ignore.
But how do you? But how can you? How can you get mad at other people?
I
Who
don't.
can do it?
I
Who
don't.
has the ability to do it?
I say do it. Do it.
Okay.
I think they should do it. I want to see it happen. I want to
Okay,
see
so-
Umar
okay, so-
Johnson School get built. I want to see people get reparations successfully. I want to see the whole 9 yards. I want to see people do it.
I do too, bro. Because I know my kids got to grow up in this shit.
Which is one of the reasons why I consider not having kids in the first place.
Pop quiz.
Oh,
I have a
wow.
question. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Question, everyone. Question. What if your kids didn't have to grow up in this shit? I mean, what if your kids grew up somewhere else? What would? Okay. All right. Just want to make sure that everybody's, we following along. We're on the same page here. I just want everybody to know. You know what I mean? Just, I'm just saying. I don't want nobody to forget what kind of channel we on right now. I just want y'all to know, like, I'm just saying. Shout out to shout out to my little bro here in the chat. He said this nigga spitting. Shout out to you, family. Simeon Toko, he said, yup. Shout out to you, G. And Tim Howard said, really, what happened with Anton? As far as we know, I guess they separated on kind of like just amicable. Like Anton is still kind of around the Lapeef Network. He just kind of taking more time into doing the Millionaire Morning Show and other stuff. It ain't no beef or no fallout. It's just he just stepped back from doing the panels so much, and he'll kind of pop up whenever, but he's just not necessarily like dedicated to doing the Lapeef panels and so much. It's because he's working on other projects. That's basically what it's about. It ain't no beef or nothing like that. Anton is just working on his thing. He's just kind of doing other stuff. So he'll kind of pop in and out of the Lapeef panel, basically. He kind of comes and goes. He said it's hard to admit you fell for the okie doke for real. He said they would be some amazing, well-justified global readers. You damn right, Simeon Toko. You ain't lying. You damn right. You damn right they would be some. Yo, let me tell y'all something. Yo, my kids, I'm trying to tell you something. If I have another child, I'm gonna let y'all know right now. Right? Let my child, which more than likely is gonna happen, which that's what I'm working on. My child born in another country, obviously his mom's gonna be of a different culture. Tell you what, that's gonna be one of the most well-balanced children you've ever seen. Not only will he have my genetics, he'll have his mother's genetics. Okay. Not only will he have, my teachings and everything I can offer him, but he will also have his mother's culture behind him. He will be well-rounded. He will speak 2 languages. Hell, maybe 3. He will be an athlete, and he will be about getting shit done, because I won't let my child fall. Because he will grow up in a house to where the parents stay together. It will be a family structure. And my son will understand how to move as a man in this world. I will not let my child fall to the streets or failing himself, or he won't fail himself in school. I'll be right there with my boy every step of the fucking way. We're not going to have to worry about no lesser community, less than opportunity. Racism is holding my child down. No. Hypothetical. Say my son's half Thai or whatever, right? Thailand. We get the best of Thailand. We get the best schools. He's gonna be able to have access to America. Okay, he's gonna be mixed, which is also gonna work in his favor for picking when it comes to dating, because they're gonna be on him because he's gonna be mixed, half black, half Thai. That's gonna be a thing. He's gonna be versed in traveling. Like I said, we're gonna have him in sports. He's gonna be smart, right? And if it's a daughter, guess what? Her mother is going to teach her how to better be fit for a high value or upperly mobile male, how to be more of a wife, because that's the culture she'll come from, and that's the background she's going to come from. So everything Bruiser just said about raising a child in this shit, quote unquote, I don't care about this shit, quote unquote. Let's keep it pushing.
Yep, I say it all the time. I strongly considered never having kids, and I was okay with not having a kid.
So you're okay. So basically, what you just saying, you're going on the record to say, "Hey, look, I know what all my ancestors fought. I know what my fathers and my mothers and fathers, grandfather fought for to keep this bloodline going." You're saying you're willing to terminate that.
Listen, Bruiser,
terminate what, nigga? Terminate. Got a mosquito in here. Terminate what? My man said bloodline. He said lineage. I'm like, nigga. I'm gonna say this. And for some of you, y'all may not like me saying this, but unless somewhere in your ancestry somebody was a multimillionaire and they had businesses or a lot of properties, or they owned some type of, I don't know, like an airline company, your legacy is slavery. What fucking lineage are you talking about defending? In this country, you come from chains, my nigga. What the fuck are you talking about? My bloodline? Nigga, your bloodline was in shackles. What the fuck what are you defending? It's not gonna die. People will not forget that you dark Negroes who come from the Americas were in chains. I promise you, they won't forget that. So however you move forward with your lineage, wherever you go, wherever you be, I'm sure they will be able to point to the dad and say, oh, he was an American black. Oh, yeah, they came from slavery. I promise you that's always going to be intact, my brother. I promise you. You don't need to defend it. Okay? The Negro is not going to disappear. We have a dominant gene. We're going to be okay. And in case you haven't checked, the majority of the world is brown. The fuck are you defending? You come from slavery. Shut up. Go out there and be great. Do something great with your life. Go wherever you want. You don't need to stay here and prove who the biggest slave is. Well, master used to whip my ass 10 times a day. You only got whipped 8 times a day. Who gives a fuck? You're both slave, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, The victim Olympics to me is such a disgusting mindset that I wish more of our brothers would get away from. Yes, we know where we came from. We understand what it is that we have to live with every day that we get up and move in this country. We know. The mirror reminds us every day of who we are. And again, this is not me trying to say I'm very proud of who and what I am. But I'm also proud of the fact that I can come from who and what I am. Hell, I know straight dead on my roots are from Mississippi. Like both my mom and dad, my folks, grandma, cousins, everybody, Mississippi for the most part. I know it. I don't run from it. I don't hide it. I know it. I stand on it. That's my family. They're my cousins. That's my family. Right? Respect to that. But I don't need to go around carrying a big chain that says I used to be a slave. Nigga, go out there and be great and say, look where you came from, but now look where you can go, instead of limiting yourself to thinking that you can only be in this bubble called black. The biggest prisons that we deal with as black folks are the ones that we put ourselves in. You're the warden and you have the key. You do not have to live under no, I can only do black, date black, sleep black, eat black, drink black mentality. Because what are your rewards for doing so? You can go out there and be great wherever you want to be great at. I had to stop it just because shit like that type of talk sounds like plantation talk to me. And it gets on my nerves. Because for people who come from different places, when you've been in places like Mississippi, and those of us who are from the deep South, when you've walked past cotton fields and stuff like that on a daily basis, so much so to where it doesn't even bother you much at the end of the day. When you actually see the fields that actually still remain and cotton still grows there, people coming from the north, it just sound like, it's kind of a fantasy. Oh yeah, slavery was, yeah. When you actually kind of go through those parts of the world, you see that your people were out here, foot in ass, bent over, knees in the dirt, picking cotton. You don't really want to champion it. You tell yourself, I see what happened. Respect to my ancestors for bringing us out of this. Now it's time to move forward. And let's go forward and actually build something. And stop limiting ourselves and thinking that we can only be one way. Let's keep it cooking. Let's go.
Sit on my Twitter today or last night. I'll read it to you exactly. I posted, it said, hold on, I'm about to read it to you. Specifically, this is what I posted on my Twitter, right? Let me see if I can lower it real quick. Hold on, let me see if I can turn this around.
I gotta back it up a little bit. Bring it back in.
The world is on a downward slope, on a collision course with God. Pray for others, save yourself, and have a great time while you're here. That's it. I said the world is on a collision course. Pray for others, save yourself.
So basically, what you're saying, we didn't got too far to where it can be it's unrepairable.
Yeah, it's over.
Yes, it's over with. Bruiser. It's over with. Save yourself. black man. That sounds similar to isn't there a group? S S Y SYSBM. Well, I'll be damned. I'll be damned, Bruiser. I'll be damned. Is it over? Yes, nigga, it's over. Go home. Save yourself.
Over. I think it's over.
And do you think majority of black people feel like that?
Don't matter.
I do. I think it's a
You know
silent.
what the hell? Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that? This nigga says save yourself, and then he said, you think majority of black people think that way? My nigga, save yourself. Again, he can't break himself from the whole community. Do most people think that? The fuck does it matter if most people think that way? If I just told you to, let me ask you a question. If I write you a check for $1 million and I said, hey, here you go. You got $1 million. Congratulations. Are you going to say, well, do most people get $1 million? Nigga, that's the mentality of this nigga who's a dreamer. So that's what that dreaming shit gets you.
Majority though. I think the people that are worst for us are the ones that's the loudest. I think it's a silent majority that feels exactly like that.
Well, I'm gonna go on the record and be one of the people that feels like it's not. It's anytime. I feel like anytime you got an ounce of breath in your body, there's always a way. That's what I believe in. I don't even call myself a Christian, a Muslim, or anything like that. I just specifically believe anytime you got blood running through your veins and an ounce of breath in your body, there's always a way. We just don't know the way.
Okay. What's
We'll
going
never know
on?
the way. You know why we'll never know the way? Because we always keep talking about how it's not possible. Or
No, Bruiser, we know what it takes to get there. I'm not willing to suffer on behalf of people that don't give a fuck about me.
Listen to what Anton is saying. I'm not willing to suffer in these streets for these females who don't give a shit about us. Bruiser. This idea, see, this whole mentality, this trap mentality is staying on the plantation type shit, just plantation talk. You got to sacrifice yourself into being. See, Bruiser doesn't understand what he's saying, though. He doesn't understand what the sacrifice is. You got to go out here and be a drone and a soldier of the community in order to, quote unquote, keep it black. When these women can be the most destructive thing in your life. And you ready to go out here and fight and die in the streets for them? Because think about it. That's what he's talking about. The code word he's saying is community, but we know specifically what he's saying. This is why the manosphere exists, and this is why we talk about red pill talking points. Because understand what men say when they don't realize their own value. Realize and understand what Bruiser is saying with a straight face. Look at the nigga. Look at how straight his face is and doesn't realize he's saying that he needs to go out here and die in the street for these strags that don't give a shit about him. Look this nigga in his face. Look at him. He thinks he's on some prophetic shit and doesn't realize he's speaking to his own demise. Like so many brothers who are unaware. Blue pill, sleeping in a dream. This is why we do this work, family. If case anybody ever wants to know, this is why we do this work. Because we got too many bruisers running around. I don't have an issue with the nigga personally, but there's too many brothers who think like him. And I know a lot of y'all who hear me know brothers like him and know you can't get through to him. But these are case studies that we do to examine the mentality of brothers who advocate for their own destruction at the case or at the behest of saving a community that does not exist. These women don't care about you, Bruiser. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's easy for these niggas to talk like this who are not out here dealing with these women. Again, I'm gonna remind y'all, Bruiser's married. Bruiser's married. So obviously, he thinks it's all fairy tales and rainbows, hoping and dreaming, not realizing the actual problem. This is what we have to deal with. And this is why I'm glad we have these spaces in order to communicate with brothers who don't fucking get it. This nigga is so hell-bent on throwing himself in the lake of fire on this dream of these people who don't give a shit about you. Instead of going out there, doing what you got to do to make yourself higher value, higher standard, higher way of living. Okay, being upwardly mobile and going for the best option. You can't see a best option if you think your only option is you got to deal with a so-called community and nothing else. I hate to see it, but at the same time, for brothers who think like that, it's on them to figure it out. Because they're not going to listen. Because they want to get mad. They want to get in their feelings. They want to get in their egos. So get in your ego, nigga. But you're going to find out what this red pill shit is. One way or the other. And when she breaks your ass down and takes half, and you don't see your children anymore, you're going to wonder why and what happened. By that time, you could be wherever. You could be upward and older in age, trying to figure out a new career. But see, this is the thing. You got Xers like Bruiser and shit trying to tell younger niggas how to move. And we like, bro, we see y'all. No. Like, no. No. We see y'all. Sorry. All right. But brothers who operate outside of a red pill or manosphere mentality, I'm sorry, but you think you winning, but you are at a high disadvantage. And you think you're in a position to give advice. So many guys who get in front of a camera or a mic think they have the pedigree to tell you how to move. Like a Steve Harvey. This nigga is just, how you go from a comedian to being a life help coach, right? And now you trying to tell people how to move and telling women 90 days and all this other bullshit. Nigga, you got a talk show. Nigga, you ain't Dr. Phil. But it's dudes like that niggas will listen to because he makes you laugh. That nigga's a whole clown. Let's keep it going.
But what if you had a team that was willing to suffer with you?
What if you had a team?
Is that not enough?
I wouldn't ask them for that.
But it's necessary.
No, it's not.
No,
Save yourself.
save yourself. Do you hear this man preaching the gospel of passport bros? This nigga said, save yourself. Let's go. Y'all can't tell me Anton do not know what's up, bro. I used to hate this nigga, but I rock with him now. I'm saying, I fuck with Anton. gang, Anton. He's y'all, I tell you, he's one podcast away from pulling out his passport. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. Save yourself, bro. You hear this man telling you to save yourself. How many times does he keep telling Bruiser, family, save yourself? You're not fighting for nothing out here in these streets, bro. Save yourself. It's a wrap. Save yourself. I'm telling you, I would interview Anton. I would go up on Anton. If Anton wanted to interview me in a Millionaire Morning Show, I'd be up there. BGS might start talking to Anton now. I'm telling y'all, there's a change coming. Anton is a different man. I guess that war he had with what's her name was Six the Goddess and all the after his trusted ladies of Lapeef turned their back on him, he started to wake up. And we told him hey, they ain't no bruh. They selfish. They are out for their own means. They are out there getting what they can get for themselves. And Anton had to wake up. Because I saw the podcast after he talked to what's the name? What's the chick? With the Kim Jong-un haircut. Fuck was the bitch? What's her name? Damn, I can't remember. What was her name? Anyway. But Anton himself even had to figure it out. And he's starting to get more into the type of stuff we talk about every day. That brother said, save yourself, black. SYSBM. I swear to God, he should start signing off with SYSBM. Let's go.
Get the fuck out and save yourself. Save yourself.
Gang,
Whatever
gang.
you gotta do.
It ain't even about me though. Look,
It
ain't
is
even
about you.
me.
No, that's the statement. Save yourself.
Black man,
It's
gang,
about my
gang.
kids, man. My kids.
My
gotta grow up in
kids.
this shit.
Save yourself.
Imagine having a community where your kids don't have to be afraid of the other kids.
This nigga is imagine having a community. Imagine where your children can play in harmony and not be scared of the white kids. What are you talking about, nigga? Like, yo, for those of y'all who hear me, wouldn't it be easier just to go somewhere else? And you got to do all this imagining and dreaming and hoping and praying. Just leave. Oh, but I can't because we's all got to be black. God damn us, man. Anyway. Anyway. Keep it going. That's why it's BM.
Color. Imagine that.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Good luck with that.
I would kill for that.
You
I
would.
would die for that.
You would.
I would die for my kids to be able to look at another kid that's the same color as them and won't have any fear that they're gonna cross.
I know I keep pausing it. I want to let it rock, but the stuff he's saying, he said, I would die for that so that my kid cannot look at another kid that looks like him and not be afraid. How about don't be in that neighborhood or go to a different school or a different city or state or country? Man, I swear to God. Woo. I swear to God. I'm telling y'all, I'm just saying. I know I keep stopping it, but damn. This is the mentality of a lot of brothers. And when you try to get through to them, these are the type of things they say. It's about my kids, man. It's about my kids. Nigga, wherever you drop seed, it's going to be your kid, bro. I swear that's one of the major points that pro-blacks and SYSBMers and passport bros, or as far as the pro-blacks will disagree with our side of the house with, is, oh, gotta be black. Anywhere you drop seed, that's going to be a black child. Sorry. Whether you, your wife, or that child likes it or not, that's going to be a black child. Okay? I personally don't get that mentality of my grandchild must look like me. As if to say, even if you mixed, that the child wouldn't look like you. And even if the child looks slightly different from you, would you still not love your son? If his hair, if you're a 3C and your child's hair was a different version, if your child's hair was a different style, slightly straighter than yours, you gonna not love your son? So what is that mentality? What is that mindset? I mean, my God, how big your ego must be to have a perspective to say, I'd rather fight and die in these streets, deal with strag-ass women who don't care about me, deal in a community that don't love me, deal in a country that doesn't put me or my people necessarily first have the opportunity to go somewhere else and not fucking take it because I believe in all of the above and I'm going to fight it out and die so my child can look like me. You arrogant motherfucker. That shit makes no sense to me, fam. That shit makes no sense to me. If your child is 2 shades lighter than you, it's a problem. You deserve to stay in this shit. You deserve to stay right here. You deserve to stay right here in this fucking country, and everything that happens to you, it fucking happens to you, and it's your goddamn fault. And don't you come looking for no fucking handouts. Because me and the guys I roll with, we gonna be in different places, different countries, different options, making money moves. We gonna be up, way up. You won't see us. We're gonna be that far up. We gonna be up. And you're gonna be mad at us when you had the same opportunity. But your ignorant ass thought that I need to listen to what these women tell me to do. And when you do that, you become a soldier of the gynocracy like this nigga. So what happens to you is what happens to you, family. Do what it is that you feel you need to do, but don't say we didn't warn you. Let's go.
Awesome.
I'm done. I'm not. I'm willing to put my kids in the right environment to where whoever it is that rock with them.
Thank you,
It
Anton.
ain't gotta be.
Well, I would love.
I don't care if my daughter marry a white man or an Asian guy or anything like that.
What?
I don't care about that.
Whoa. Who would have thought, Anton? I don't care if my daughter marry a white man or an Asian man. Look at Bruiser's face. Look at it. Look. What? Oh, hell now. Mouse ain't gonna like that. Now, you know better. You supposed to stay right here in these states and get you as a black woman. Mm-hmm. You know damn well you ain't supposed to be mixing stuff. You don't want to go and get lynched now. You better cut that out. Mm-hmm. That's Bruiser's face, nigga. That's Bruiser's face. That's his face. Look at him. Hey, now, Master done told you about that looking over there at them white girls. Mm-hmm. You know you need to go ahead and get you one of these good old dead winches. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Sure is. Oh, hell. Ah, damn it. Ah. Simeon Toko said, you was about to destroy our legacy. Shit. Oh, shit. God damn it. That boy said, all right, now you better go and get you one of these good old black girls right here in these old United States. Woo, shit. That shit's funny as hell to me, bro. That shit is funny as hell to me. Look at it. I had to pause it just so y'all can see his face. What? You mean you didn't tell Mouser? All right now. Now, they might come looking for you now. They might come a lynching. Don't tell everybody that you letting your daughter out here with them Chinese boys. They gonna come a looking. They gonna come a lynching now. You best not tell nobody about all that. Shout out to Simeon Token. See, everybody start watching Anton again. Hey, Anton been cooking lately. I ain't gonna lie. I don't agree with everything Anton say, but lately he been on one. He said Elizabethtown. He said my mom is from the Outer Banks. Okay, y'all talking. That's what's up. He said, and Tim Howard made a good point. He said it already exists in other countries, so why dream or die for it? Yes. Shout out to Tim Howard. If I had the buzzer, I'd hit you with one right now, bro. Fam, you on point with that. Why are you out here fighting and dying for something that exists somewhere else, bro? I can tell you why. He doesn't value himself. And because black women didn't tell him it was okay to do it. That's why. That's why. He's a gynocrat. That's why he don't believe it. He don't think it's possible. Because black women didn't tell him to do it. Therefore, he doesn't understand how to operate in a space where black women didn't put the battery in his back and give him the okay. That's why. That's his goddamn problem. But we supposed to listen to niggas like him. Shout out to you, Tim, bro. You on one tonight, bro. He said, we have been mixed right here. True. Big point. Big point, Simeon. You on one. Yes. Compared to, or the Africans, native, see us as mixed. Just in case a lot of y'all didn't know, they see us as mixed. We're technically mixed, which would be right. We are mixed in a sense as far as, genetically. We have different little admixtures here and here, but the prevalent mixture that we currently represent, or where we are now, is a stronger African representation through our genetics. As you now being a black person, but then you look back at your lineage, of course, your lineage is more than likely to be mixed. Actually, probably closer, much closer than you think. Your lineage is, most of us have a mixture going on. But that is not to say that you aren't black and that you can't be black, or that it's wrong if you do mix, because you're already mixed. Shout out to Simeon. He's on one. He's right. He said, you see how his eyebrows went up? Yeah. Facts. Big facts, Brody. He said, you about to, yep. He said, you done gone too far, Anton. All right, now, Anton, you done gone too far, boy. Mm-hmm. You gonna come get a lynching. Yo. Y'all hit that like button, man. Support your boy, man. I appreciate it. Let's go.
1,000 lashings, Anton.
I have listen. I have no problem with it whatsoever.
About to get lashed, brother.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no problem whatsoever.
Scary niggas. Yo.
Mr. Antoine.
I
What's
tried
going
to
on?
break through it. He got a wall. I tried to break through Anton. Anton got a wall up.
Yes, he has a big wall. He has a huge
No, think
wall.
about it though,
No
Bruiser.
wall.
Think about it. Me and you, I'm gonna let you rock, Ronnie. But think about it though, Bruiser. Who catches the majority of the shots, even here on YouTube, of all the people that's been on the Lapeef panel and anything like that, of all the men,
Pay attention.
of all the men that has been on the panel, you and I catch more shots than anybody else. We the only fucking ones that's married. We the only ones that adds value into our listeners and our community. We the only ones that's actually a reflection of what people say is supposed to be the black community in your household. And we catch more flack, not from people that don't look like us, from women and other simps that look just like us.
Yes.
Now, why would I put my life on the line for that?
Let's go, Anton. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Anton. Let's go. You see him? He come out swinging. He said, gang, gang, fuck Lapeef. You saw what they did to us. You saw how them hoes was talking down on us. You saw B. Taylor and them hoes cutting up on us. We ain't taking that shit no more, bro. It is what it is. Nigga, gang, gang, bro. Let's go, Anton. Let's go. Woo. Shout out to him, dog. Hey, like I said, he talking tonight, boy. He talking tonight. He talking tonight. Hell no, actually, Anton right now in this video is in DR. Yeah, I see you, Simeon, in the bottom. Actually, Anton right now is in DR in this video. He says it closer to the end. I've seen some of that at the end, but yeah, he's actually in Airbnb in the DR right now. But yo, shout out to him. He's I told you, taking shots. He's talking about, because I'm telling you, all that stuff we saw Anton going through on Lapeef, all that stuff we saw him fall out with Six the Goddess in real time. We saw that happen. And he felt betrayed. We all saw it. He sounded like a hurt boyfriend. She even said he sounded like a hurt boyfriend. And what did the other black females do? Clown him. Clown him. Her and fucking Six the Goddess and fucking what's her name teamed up on him. Danica Marie teamed up on him. Made him look foolish. She's up there copy please trying to say what's wrong. They don't respect you, family. I hate to say it, but in a bigger way of looking at it, Anton, you was a lick in order to get these women platforms. We would never know a Courtney Michelle had it not been for Anton. He tried. He tried. Even from a YouTube perspective, this nigga stuck his neck out for so many black women specifically. And what did they do to him? I said it before and I say it again. Anton's first sin was a mirror. Because it was all cool in the gang when he had all black females up there. But as soon as he wanted to try to diversify things and bring in another female, a little different perspective, or yada yada, a little different, they hated him for it. I'm sorry, Anton, but I thought you were the co-founder of Lapeef. I thought it was your show, my nigga. But look what you had to do. You had to fight these women like you were married to them. Just to have any other type of woman up on the panel, you got to fight with Courtney and all these other females to have Amira's, Just Pearly Things, and all the Coach K and all these other white women who came up there. And he has to go through hell from people who look like him. From people who look like him. I thought white supremacy was the problem. What? Do we see the logic? Do we see it? That's all right. He stuck his neck out and you see what happened. He tried. He said, yup. Said he had to remove his glasses. He sure did. Bruce always kill me with the alpha your weight. Yeah, he do got that alpha your weight attitude, bro. He's bad with that shit, bro. He's bad. He's bad with it. Now, in his personal life, I can't say if he's not winning or not. But as far as giving out advice to other men, nah, bro, that ain't it. That ain't winning, cuz. You need to chill. You need to chill. Anton must be looking at property in Southeast Asia. Shit, I am. Shit. Yo, man, I'm telling you, bro, them Asian women. Anyway, that's another podcast. Anton has a new perspective. I think he does. I think that in light of the stuff that Anton has been through recently and his personal experiences that have been broadcasted through YouTube, and we saw how Tiny T, wait, is it Tiny? No, it wasn't Tiny TKO. What was her name? Damn, I can't remember the name of the chick where she was doing like a review of what happened between him and Six. Or no, she was talking about his wife. And he came up on a podcast to clear everything out. And then that's also where Mr. Let Go got up there. Just straight throwing Anton and everybody else under the bus. I was like, yo, this man. But anyway, I'm just saying. We saw all that Fugazi shit going on, and everybody was calling it out. Anton didn't want to listen to nobody. But yeah, big facts. Big facts. You always lose when simping. Yeah, facts. Let's keep it going.
For the progression of humanity, brother.
Listen, I see other. I don't just see when you go to the Lapeef Network or you go to these panels, bro. You only gonna see a specific demographic of people.
No, we see a collective of the different. It's not just there; it's everywhere.
So you really are you saying that you don't see outstanding black people in other areas? I think it's certain areas that you go.
I do.
Hot spots.
They all got a different mentality, though, Bruiser. They don't think like the collective. They think like individuals.
So I think that's the way to tear down that wall. You just expose that. If you can witness that there's a group of people like you and I out here in the world, they may be under the radar, they may be moving in silence because they don't want to be out there like that. But I feel like there's some black people out there that is a good representation, like you and I.
Yeah, I got them in my network. I got some dope people that's in my network.
Right. So there you go, man.
I would never tell them to make that type of sacrifice.
See, isn't it funny how even in Bruiser's mentality, he's saying that the best and brightest need to go out here and sacrifice themselves on a cross. For what? Oh, if enough of us people gathered together and did what? Nigga, the hood ain't gonna listen to you. Or more upperly mobile brothers. You don't look like them. The hood don't care. The hood don't care. Because if the hood cared, the hood wouldn't be the hood. If the hood cared, the hood would would all be upwardly mobile dudes. And guess what? They're not. Most of them dudes are there because that's what they want to be. So no, bro, don't tell him to go out here and we all supposed to go sacrifice. Niggas, you crazy? Go tell all these millionaire ball players that they supposed to come back to the hood and sacrifice. Shout out to LXST. Yeah, it was Real Talk with Yanni. Yeah, Real Talk with Yanni. And just, you could, if y'all go back and watch that, ooh, I hated watching that for Anton. That was rough. She was blatantly disrespecting that nigga in his face. Typical black female 101. She was just, all the sass and all the, he was up there trying to cop please a little. Well, he's mostly up there because he was telling her to take down his wife off the picture or thumbnail, whatever. But, and then Mr. Let Go got up there, and then Lapeef got up there. That nigga was copping. I'm like, nigga, y'all niggas are not role models. Sorry. Ain't nobody hearing, ain't nobody listening. Nobody I'm listening. Like, I'm not old. I'm not young. I'm in the sweet spot being in my just about mid-30s. So I'm telling you, like, the younger ones are watching how the older dudes are moving as far as the one that they're supposed to be taking advice from. They're paying close attention. They see your mistakes, and they'll see that when your words and your actions don't line up, something's off. And that's when they'll start looking and going for their own way. Because you'll tell me to go about things one way, but are you an example of that? Have you had success in that area? I'm going to give y'all some free advice right now. Don't listen to somebody who is not an example of what it is you're trying to be. Somebody's trying to give you advice in a certain area, and if you don't see them successful at it, don't listen to them. If they can't practice what they preach themselves, don't listen to them. Straight up. Don't even go for it. Just don't go for it, bro. Because too many of these cats on YouTube with a mic and a computer think that they're a guru on shit that they don't even practice. Let's go.
Because I'm not willing to do it. So why would I ever tell them to do it?
No answer.
I would never tell somebody to do something that I wouldn't do myself. I would never recommend somebody invest in something I haven't already done. I would never tell somebody to do something that I wouldn't do myself.
But don't you call yourself a Christian?
Mm-hmm. That's very much Christian values. Why would you tell some first?
What would Jesus do?
What would Jesus
He would do it
Yeah.
himself first before he tells somebody else to do it.
I'm saying, if you were sitting right next to Jesus,
Mhm.
and would you say these same things?
Yeah, why wouldn't I? I think he's listening right now. Jesus is always with me, Bruiser. Why would I ever tell somebody to do something that I wouldn't do myself?
I mean, I don't know, man. I just thought Christians were like
Regular people. What's up, Ronnie? What's your thoughts again?
Yes, sir. So so you're against reparations, is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So the young brother, he is 100% accurate about the history of Black folk. He didn't take it far enough. Black folk after they were freed. In fact, let's just say 1865, so-called Civil War ended.
Mm-hmm.
Then there were the Black Codes.
Mm-hmm.
And the Black Codes ended. Some you can argue 1 year to 3 years. It depends on which state you're in which the Black Codes gave birth to Jim Crow later down the road after Reconstruction.
Mm-hmm.
So already Black folk were economically behind. Heck, in certain areas in the South, Black folk couldn't vote because of the lynchings, because of the Klan, and because of the lynchings.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you against reparations when we were behind the 8 ball from the very beginning?
Just don't nobody owe you compassion. Don't nobody owe you compassion. Don't nobody owe you an acknowledgement. Don't nobody give a fuck about your feelings. You lost. You was behind the 8 ball. Women couldn't vote either. Fuck them. I still don't think listen. I still don't believe that women deserve to vote today. I think that they should get up on. Listen, if it was me, this country would be ran completely different, bro. I believe that in order for you to even be able to have an impact, you should be married. I don't think you represent the best interests of this country unless you actually are have somebody that you care for, because then you have something to either that or you have to have served in the military, right? You've had to be of some service, but just because you turn 18 and with your brain is not even fully developed yet, does not mean that you can make a smart decision on who should run the country. That's bullshit to me, right? I don't believe like all of these different things that we see. They say women was behind the 8 ball. They should have been fucking behind the 8 ball. It was men that was building the country. What you talking about? We was at war.
But black folk, let's take the race riot of, I'm in North Carolina. So there's the race riot of 1898. So, so black people ran Wilmington, in essence.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until a white mob took that power away and basically destroyed the black community. In fact, if you look at Wilmington,
they
won.
Yeah. What? So you consider that a war against your own, basically?
Mm-hmm.
Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Now at this point, I'm gonna say this. I agree with him on this point. They won. They did win. It's true. We were at war. It was a war. But I don't agree that we shouldn't do anything about it. I do believe that something should be done as far as structuring ourselves in a way that whatever is here can be successful in the name of American black folk. I'm not against our people, and I'm not against reparations. But whatever needs to be done, it's not going to come in a way of begging. And it's not going to come in a way of marching. I will get to my final point on it as we get closer to the end. But I did want to stop it at that point and say that I agree with his point to say that, yes, it was most definitely a war against us. And for all intents and purposes, they beat us. Our hands were kind of tied, but they beat us. We did fight back. We have fought back. But in so many ways, and it's still, our fight back has also been limited in a sense. We fought back on some things and we got small victories. But the major things, we'd have to see how far that goes. But let's keep going. I wanted to make that point before Anton continues.
The same way that warring tribes over in Africa didn't want to fight their enemy no more, so they incentivized themselves by selling them over to Europeans that then turned them into slaves in America. How is it any different? They fucked up tribes over there. They were stabbing them motherfuckers in the head and raping their babies. How is America any less savage than we were over in Africa?
Talk about
it's different because you have a race of people. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So basically saying our original enemy and the enemy we should be looking at is the Africans.
It's in the mirror.
That's a fact.
It's in the mirror. Listen.
So how is
Americans or how are Europeans? How are Europeans any less savage than what we were? The only difference is that they figured out how to capitalize it and make more money off of it than we did. We got the bad end of the deal.
So how would you feel if Africans say, hey, look, African Americans, black people, y'all come back over here, back to the homeland? You think they should decline that because of the past? Like, look, you.
Do I think that who should decline it?
Yeah.
Do I think that who should decline it?
Black people and African Americans that was sold into as a descendants of slavery. Okay.
What if should they decline us over into their country?
Yeah, you think they should say, hey, look, we're not coming back over there to establish a community because y'all sold us over there.
They already selling they property over to Saudi Arabia and China anyway. They selling out anyway. They would be. This would be in their best interest for us to come over here and help the motherfuckers.
Exactly.
But Mr. Anton, Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt.
go ahead,
There
go
was
ahead.
this war.
Africans are bad capitalists. They're great warriors, but they're horrible capitalists. That's really what it comes back down to. Phenomenal warriors can jump out the fucking gym, can shoot a basketball, can throw a fucking spear, can fuck on a chick real hard, but they horrible capitalists. That's really what it comes down to. They got the bad end of the deal from then all the way up until now.
All right, so Anton, how do you think this sound? Just hear me out. Let me paint another picture for you. You
Am
can
I
say
wrong?
fuck- You can say fuck that or not.
Am I
Let me paint this
wrong?
picture for
Am I
you.
Not
wrong,
wrong.
Bruiser?
He's not wrong.
No, you're not wrong. And that's why I'm about to ask you this. I'm gonna ask you this. Okay, look, this seems like there's no other way to turn. And I'm just trying to come to a solution or a possible solution, possible option. Okay. First of all, do you agree that the black gene or whatever is the dominant, the darker or whatever they call it. And white is more like a recessive.
I have no idea. No
So,
idea.
okay, let me rephrase that. If a black man impregnate a white woman, what color is the child?
Based off of society standards, black.
Okay, got it.
But
So,
you
hold on,
can't
what did
sit
you
here and
think?
deny that it doesn't have that the child does not have traits of both races, though. That's just
Okay,
something that we established here in America.
So let me ask you this. Okay, let me just take it to the extreme to get to my point real quick. Let's say black man said, "Oh look, we're gonna impregnate all the white. We're just gonna target white women. And black women are gonna target white men to a point where America just becomes one race."
Go ahead, I'm listening. I got to get my charger, my computer about to.
So if everybody is the same color, then that probably would be an option to pretty much eliminate racism, because there wouldn't be no way to determine.
I agree with you.
Well,
Well,
y'all had a conversation temporarily. I got to go get my charger. Give me a second.
Okay, go ahead. But y'all get what I'm saying, brothers?
Yeah, I
If everybody was a mixed race, there would be no racism. It's simplified enough.
I got you.
all right, I'm gonna skip ahead
I just don't,
to where
I
Anton
don't
comes
get the
back.
point. I don't get the point where Mr. Antoine's clip is basically trying to equate out to basically a war. So basically, there's been a war against our ancestors from the very beginning when they first were indentured slaves,
Yeah.
indentured servants when they came across when they were come to Virginia.
Hard, yes.
I think Anton's whole position is man the fuck up. As men, you got
Divided everything up in America today. You took all of the wealth from the rich people. You took all of the wealth from the poor people. You erased all of the debt. You started from scratch. And everybody was just completely at square one. Over a period of time, everything would move back into exactly the way that it is now. Right? And this is what I'm saying. You don't even have to worry about having this conversation because it's so many other things that people need to be focused and fighting for, right? We need to be having conversations about changing family court laws. We need to be having conversations about what's happening with regard to inflation and the policies that's being instituted. The indoctrination camps that's happening with your schools. People.
All right, now I want to run it back just a touch, just so y'all can hear. Anton's kind of like his final opinion, more so in why he doesn't think reparations will be a good idea. This is kind of like the final point part of it, where we get to kind of like where Anton has kind of been building up to a certain point. So let me run it back and make sure everybody's going to be able to hear it properly.
Let me tell you something.
Now he does have a point. He does have a point there.
Here's the bigger fight.
Here we go.
I guarantee. Listen, black people. If you gave reparations today, all you would do is fuck people up.
I agree.
You would be giving people
It's
a
become more
loaded
with
gun.
reparations, though.
You
It's
would
become
give
more with
people a loaded
reparations.
gun to kill themselves, basically, right? This is just my opinion. It's not based on anything. This is just my thoughts, right? If you gave people reparations today, it would be a loaded gun to kill themselves. They wouldn't know what to do with it.
I don't understand.
Works. All you don't. Money doesn't make you a better person. It makes you more of what you already are. And so the wealth, whatever wealth was generated, I believe that it would be absolutely dissolved. If you divided everything up in America today, you took all of the wealth from the rich people, you took all of the wealth from the poor people, you erased all of the debt, you started from scratch. Everybody was just completely at square one. Over a period of time, everything would move back into exactly the way that it is now. right? And this is what I'm saying. You don't even have to worry about having this conversation because it's so many other things that people need to be focused and fighting for, right? We need to be having conversations about changing family court laws. We need to be having conversations about what's happening with regard to inflation and the policies that's being instituted. The indoctrination camps that's happening with your schools. People need to even start with fixing their own households, making sure that they don't have broken families, right? Having conversations about how it is that you can increase the property values in your own neighborhoods, which ultimately feeds into the tax base and what resources go into the schools in your own environment, right? People
Now
need
you answering the question I asked you earlier. That's what I wanted to hear.
People need to focus on the millages that's happening. People need to re-enroll and remove themselves out of what's being touted to us as university level education, because Black women are the most enrolled because they're out of control. Instead, we need to be advocating for more community college, which would then depend on how it is that we're passing the millages inside of our own communities. People need to spend more time advocating for and building up strong voter practices within their own cities instead of focusing on the national elections, because what happens in the cities is on a local level is more impactful to the community than what happens as far as what it is that we looking from Biden and Trump, right? We seen during the pandemic that states had more power than we thought that they had prior to the pandemic happening, right? And so people need to focus on 1 million other individual things that collectively would make you a more powerful group, and then people would listen to us. But as far as we seeing a guy at a podium at a San Francisco thing, at a San Francisco City Council meeting, with a North Face jacket on, talking about we want reparations, that's not gonna do it. That's not it. Because nobody takes you seriously. They don't take you seriously as a voter base as long as they know. Listen, the reason why people think that Obama just got in and they advocated for the alphabet community because he was an advocate for alphabet community. And what I was saying in the beginning was people don't do stuff just because they like you. They do it because there's an incentive tied to it. I had a conversation with the former mayor of Detroit, and I have him on the phone on a regular basis, and we have conversations. Kwame Kilpatrick, and he said he rode on a plane with President Clinton. They have what you call a bullpen. A bullpen is basically potential political leaders that are on the upswing that they can see being having an impact in that particular political party. What the Democratic Party identified in the late 80s and the early 90s is that Black people, they never had to make sure that they gave them anything because they were always going to vote overwhelming majority for whoever it was that was the Democratic nominee. So what happened was they needed to secure and make sure that they held a stronghold on the ability to be able to compete with Republicans, because they realized that Black men, as they continue to age and get older, and as a lot of our ancestors aged out, they no longer were tied to the Democratic Party, because the more wealth that the more that we lived and the more wealth that we accumulated, the less we were tied to liberal values and more conservative values. And that's a fact, right? People that generally make more money and get older over time start to become a part of more conservative values, and they start to vote more Republican. And so in order for them to be able to keep people within that Democratic base, they had somebody that looked like you, tied people that didn't even look like you back to the Democratic Party by advocating for something in the same way that we did yesteryear and said that they was going to tie people to liberal policies. They then advocated for a separate group of people, and then they're going to form another group of people. And then they did that with the alphabet community. And so what they did was tie people back to liberal policies by making sure and empowering other people to then say, give them laws that largely didn't affect what happened from a financial perspective. You getting married, a woman to a woman, doesn't affect what it is that they're doing from a Democratic perspective. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what happened with President Obama during that particular administration, because everybody was such in duress. He sold you hope, and then he advocated for a completely different group of people. And so because people have no power, because people have no money, because they don't have a strong family unit, because there is no man at the front of the household. Because women overwhelmingly is going to be determining factor for who it is that gets in office.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to get reparations. You don't have to worry about the policies that's happening on a national level. You don't have to worry about whether or not the war in Ukraine or BRICS over as far as Russia, China, and all of these other things is going to have an impact on what you're doing from a Black community perspective, because it's so easy to tie you to a specific group that then won't do anything fucking for you, instead of continuing to turn on the faucet and let it drip inside of your mouth, because we don't have a strong community based off of conservative principles that allow for you to be able to lead your household. And so as long as we have people that is continuing to go down this road and be distracted by things that don't matter, then you will never, ever be able to have a conversation about something separately from that, like reparations. It's an impossibility for anybody to ever be successful unless you have a strong base on the things that actually matter the most, which is your ability to be able to elect people, think for yourself, and generate a significant amount of resources within your community.
So
They
basically, what you're saying, because
people to vote. If you can get somebody in your community that can galvanize your like that can register people to vote, they're looked at as a benefit and as an asset, and they will give you whatever you want in the community.
Right. I'm glad you said that. So basically, in a nutshell, as long as women have majority voting power, you saying none of these things that we want to advocate for.
It's not just women. As long as people align themselves from an alphabet community perspective, as long as women, right? As long as you continue to advocate for feminism, man, listen, half of these Black women on YouTube don't even fucking like us.
Okay.
What makes you think they don't get on the record doing anything?
Now listen, he's about to kick off into something that I never thought I would hear Anton say. But I want to say this. Listen carefully. And I let that play uninterrupted on purpose. He just described how the government sees you, because he said he was with, I think he said the mayor of from where he's at. I believe he said in Detroit or whatever. Pay attention to what he said about how they see you and how they know your community is broken. That's why we are not worried about getting reparations for you Negroes. Because you don't have a strong base. You don't have a community. You don't have a place where men are represented at the front of these households. So all we have to do is entertain and court your women. Because all you Negroes will do is follow your women. And with that being said, and if that's the game plan, then that lets you more know that they're not our women. They're their women. Women of the state. Because this is women, Black women in particular, still paying the price for the decisions that they made back in the mid-60s to follow white women into feminism. And to this day, you still pay for it. Yes, for their sins, the community over mostly is where it is. And I say that. And I stand on it. The government agrees. Anton just told you the government version of Black women sold you out. You just heard it. If not, run the tape back. He just told you what they see from their perspective. We're not even worried about you Negroes, because we know how to control y'all, which is through your women. We just entertain them. And you're going to vote how they vote. You're going to go how they go. Your community is broken. We're not worried about you being strong. We're not worried about you being a monolith. So to answer the initial question, There will be no reparations for Black Americans. Because we are not a community. We are not a culture. We are not a stronghold. We don't have a strong enough backbone in the political sphere because our women are the spearhead of everything that we as Black men have now or have for a long time been against. Because we are not a collective. Because we are not on one accord. Because women run the community. Because our children are out of order. Because the women are out of order. Because enough Black men don't have backbone. Because enough Black men don't have direction. Because too many Negroes are satisfied with being mediocre and they don't want more out of life except how many bitches they can fuck. That's why you Negroes will never see reparations. And I don't say that because it's fun. And I don't say that because I don't want us or whatever idea of the Black community culture, whatever could be going forward to be something great. It's not that I shit on the possible of us being great. It's because we won't be great because we are our biggest enemy. As a collective, we failed. Collective, as a collective. As a collective, we failed. America's not that old. This is still an experiment. And the Black Project is essentially failed. My point is, our women sold us out first. First opportunity they had. Yes, I'm still calling it when they followed white women into feminism. Oh, yes. Failed. We failed. Black men didn't stand on their square hard enough and tell their women no. We failed. Yes, it was a quote unquote war against Black folks. And we lost in Tulsa, in all the things that we have endured since being here. We have had small victories, but overall we've been defeated. This is what they tell you when they tell you you've been conquered, Negro. That doesn't mean not to fight. And that does not mean not to go out here and put your best foot forward and get shit done. But it does mean wake up out of the dream of waxing poetically about this fairy tale of Wakanda. It don't exist. Your women were brought here to breed. You never were this perfect utopia of a community. Where did it fucking exist? You tell me. Because as far as I know, and what we have seen and studied and history has told us, slavery, Jim Crow, we were together out of obligation. You didn't have a choice, or you would die. You did not have a choice as a Black man on where you put your dick for a long time. Rest in peace to Emmett Till and 1,000 deaths to that bitch who lied on him, who recently died. For a long time, Black man, you have not had a decision. You have not had a choice. Therefore, you have not had to make decisions. Your woman was propped up over you because the government realized that we can deal with her easier than we can deal with you. Don't forget, white men always had access to black women. And you had to sit there in the corner and watch. Black man, this country was not built for you. And is what we have heard tonight, a lot of what Anton has told you is that the country did things in the quote unquote favor of black folks so they could also get something out of it. It's not necessarily because they liked you. A lot of what was done was to the country's benefit in one way or another. Believe it or not, it's all political. It's business. It's war. So how about you start winning? And move to your best option. Get your passport. You knew it was coming. Get your passport. Get your passport. This is why I stand on it the way I do, because you have the option now, black man, and you should take full advantage of all the options that are given to you. Hell, I tell for a young man, if he's fresh out of high school and he's trying to figure out which way to go and what to do, and he just graduated, get your ass in the military. While you're still young, you're still active, you got all your strength, get your ass in the military, because the benefits can carry you a lifetime. Get your ass in the military. As a young man, you want the key to life? If you're not a D1 athlete, if you don't have a full ride scholarship to somewhere, if you're not ridiculously smart, if you're the average, which is most of us, get your ass in the military. Don't even think about it. Get your ass in the military. Figure it out. Pick a good job. And then take heed of all the resources that you have available. And then see where you end up. It's more likely you're going to wind up somewhere where you'll have a six-figure job. Down the road, you'll have skills, you'll have discipline. You're usually going to be traveling at a young age. Most of us who travel, prior servicemen, like myself and the brothers before me, prior service. That's the majority of us. They have some type of VA benefit that's paying them residual income. Hell, if you get 100% disability, I think it's damn near about $3,000 a month, depending on where you are. Do you know what that can do for you overseas? Just on your residuals alone? Hell, you could live in the most decent places somewhere I know in Southeast Asia for less than $600 a month in nice places. And everything else is just your VA benefit. The opportunities are there in front of you. But you have to want success and not mediocrity. If you want to be better than average, then you can't do what the average man does. I say this message for younger brothers who are still trying to figure it out. You pick a path and you stick with it. Because it's not about the steps and how long it's going to take you to get there or what is going on in between. It's about the goal. You stay focused on the goal and you do whatever it takes to get there. In terms of reparations, like I said, I'm not against it, but I don't think it's going to happen. Because there are bigger issues that we need to deal with. Black man, your house is out of line. And you talking about reparations. Imagine as an adult or as a parent, your child is coming to you asking you for extra allowance and they can't even keep their room clean. They can't even make good grades in school. Like I said before, I'm not against the idea. But will it happen? I don't see it happening. Technically, mechanically, how? And like Anton said earlier, how does it benefit the government to give us cash prizes? Think about everything we've heard tonight. To what does it benefit? I hate to tell y'all the truth, but they already beat us. Anton said earlier, we lost. I'm not saying it was a fair fight. Settle down. I'm just saying that we lost. We got small victories. Yes, we did. We got civil rights. We got integration. For those of you who see that as a win, we did get things, but it was to equate us to the current level of where everybody else was, not put us ahead. Remember, this isn't our country. Not like that. Yes, we helped, quote unquote, build it under duress, slave. Black man, your legacy is slavery. In this country, let me tell you something. In this country, your legacy is slavery. In other countries, your legacy is an American. If you haven't been anywhere and if you haven't traveled, you don't know what it's like to go to a different country and people respect you as an American. I said it before, I said it again. You become an American when you leave the country, because then it's not about you being black. That's obvious. You are classified as American first, and everything that may or may not come with it. Generally, for us as black folks, when we travel as black men, we get held in the likes of almost superstars because they look at us in the same likes of some celebrities, rappers, whatever. It's always generally in a positive light, even with the context of a quote unquote slavery or civil rights. They look at us as we respect y'all because y'all went through that. These motherfuckers did all this to you guys, and you've managed to equate yourself to the average citizen and still live amongst and date and marry and have families with these same people. Wow. Shout out to y'all. Other countries respect that about us. And you generally don't get to feel that until you leave. Which is why the battle cry still remains. Brothers, get your passports. Save yourself. Anton even told you. Save yourself, black man. Anton is even saying it. Literally told Bruiser, save yourself. He let it be known. Straight up told him. We'll get into a little bit more. We'll finish up and then I'll close out. Because he talks a little bit more about how, let me see, what part are we at? I think he talks about the disrespect of women. We'll cook a little bit and then I'll close out.
You going on the record to say that?
Yeah. Majority of women on YouTube don't fucking like us. Listen, these women, a lot of these women that have some of the larger platforms, the black women, they would more closely align with white men and white women than they would before you as a black man.
Oh, come on, Anton. Really?
Bruiser.
Bruiser.
Half of the conversations that they have is trying to figure out how they can divest, as though white men fucking want them anyway.
So YouTube is huge, right?
And YouTube is a representation of what it is that what people really think in real life. Because the thing that I learned is that people online say what they really feel, but in real life they put on a good face.
It just sounds like you're speaking from a specific location in the YouTube space. That's like
the manosphere.
Network.
What do you mean? We just looked at Steven Crowder and women, and Candace Owens just handed him his ass for for getting divorced from his wife. Steven
Well,
Crowder.
look, I'm not saying I disagree.
Steven
I'm just
Crowder's
trying to
white
figure
wife
out. Like,
aligned with Candace Owens right after that.
I'm not saying I disagree with you, Anton. I'm just saying I haven't been in this space long enough to be able to navigate through all of YouTube, make that determination, and perhaps maybe you have. You've been in the game long.
You've been around long enough.
Well,
I seen
can say
Mr.
this.
I seen fucking Mr. Let Go pandering last night as usual.
Just to let go, throwing him under the bus.
Mr. Let Go went up on a platform and completely fucking threw all of us under the bus in order to try to save himself. And they still
I told y'all he was taking shots at everybody. I told you. Anton is a different man.
don't fuck with it.
Hold on, wait, what? This was last night?
No, this was a while. Listen, I'm gonna let that go. Anyways, my point is that you ain't got to worry about it. You ain't even got to worry about it, big dog.
Damn. So you think our biggest? Who you think our biggest enemy is?
Ourselves.
The enemy to the black man or the black community?
Ourselves.
The black man.
Women. I already said this.
He's a new man.
More so than black men killing black.
You want to know? You want to know who the biggest threat to the black community is?
Mm-hmm.
Black women.
Hello.
Black community. Yeah, black.
He's a new man.
It's the same answer. Both of them is the same answer.
Hey, I'm gonna take your advice. You better stop it. Your cash app gonna slow down.
Who's cash apps?
I'm fucking with you. But no,
I ain't Dr. Umar Johnson. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna say what I really think.
You say that more than black men killing more black men. Black women is worse.
Who raising them?
Okay, we can say
who's raising the majority of the men that wind up? This is a statistical fact. This is not my opinion. Who's raising the majority of the men that end up in prison?
Don't tell me that Anton is not on his red pill shit. Anton sounds like another Manosphere brother. I'm just saying. This is why I kept going, because I heard, yeah, he gets a little bit into more of this. Is he starts laying it down. Who's raising these bastards running around here fucking up the streets? All right.
Who's raising the majority of men that turn gay? Who's raising the majority of men that have trauma and issues that then turn into gangs? Who's more likely to join a gang? Who's more likely to have? Who's raising them?
So would that make her an enemy and she don't know it in a sense? Because if that's it, we saying that she a single mom, right? She don't want her kid to be, well, I ain't gonna say that because I got some homies that it's my son block. You know what I mean?
Who's grooming them? Who's grooming them? Who's the teachers? Who's the ones that's raising them?
They don't want their sons to grow up that way.
Who's grooming them? Who's raising them? Who's choosing to have them? Who's the ones that determine who gets in office? Who's the most enrolled? Who's the most educated? Who are they? It's literally a face for them. It is a black woman. That is the truth. That is not my opinion. This is a statistical fact.
Look at his face.
The least married, most likely to have a kid out of wedlock. It's a fact. It's not even my opinion.
But how does that affect our human behavior? So in other words, when we out here in the streets and we with our niggas and we do what we do, shit we shouldn't be doing, how is the black woman responsible for the?
What do you mean? They hate me too. And I'm responsible as fuck. I ain't never had a kid out of wedlock. I ain't never cheated. I ain't never been divorced. I've been married for fucking 19 years since I was 22 years old. And they hate me. You know why? Because I'm a strong dude that tell the truth. Now, if I was pandering and simping in order to continue to enable their bad behavior because they so out of control, then they would love me for it.
Anton sound like a red pill Manosphere nigga. Y'all can't tell me no different. This is a new Anton. Yo, this is a new Anton. Buddy is on one. I'm just saying.
Because I would be basically the blueprint or the prototype for what they're looking to have as far as somebody validating their bad behavior.
Are you saying black
kid do you know? What kid do you know loves when their parents tell them that they need to eat vegetables?
None.
So how is it any different?
But so let me ask you this, Anton. Let me ask you a real question. She said that. if this is true that black women or women is the problem for a black man or for any chance of having a black community, on a scale from 0 to 10, what percentage of black men are aware of this? And secondly,
Very few.
is it-
Very few.
okay, so that explains why black men keep giving a seed to black women. Because if it was an overwhelming majority of black men who are aware of this, then wouldn't black men refuse to give their seed to a woman that's that?
Well, what you don't understand though, Bruiser, is that it's a smaller segment of black men and a larger majority of black women that choose to get pregnant by the small segment of black. See, the thing about men is that we tend to be more loyal, which is why we're less likely to file for divorce, right? So I'll give you an example, right? A smaller group of men are much more likely to be impregnating a larger group of women. I don't have any kids out of wedlock. You don't have any kids out of wedlock. It's less likely for a man that is married and taking care of his household to have kids out of wedlock. You're less likely. Most men don't have children out of wedlock, or they don't have illegitimate children. That is a fact. But you can't fucking walk 5 feet down the street without seeing a baby mama. You can't go into any environment, even over here in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, without seeing a black woman that is a single mother.
Shout out to DR.
That's a fact.
But
This is real statistics that we can look up and justify.
It just angers me because
Oh, it
I
ain't
want to
good.
see black men and black women.
Oh, your dream isn't
What
real.
saying is basically
Oh,
shitting on everything I wanted to happen.
And when I
oh.
see people say something like, well, men is reckless with their penis, no, it's a small minority of men that is reckless with their penis. And a large majority of women that will sleep with a small minority of men. That's the truth. It don't matter how many baby mamas Nick Cannon or Future have, there's going to be more women that line up in order to become a baby mama of them dudes.
Sound like red pill to me.
So look, so what if I wanted to be that guy to push for black
Check
men
this
to
out.
search for
Let's
wives like me and your wife?
Mhm.
How would I go about that if I'm gonna keep saying
You can't, Bruiser. You can't.
You
Or
can't,
the
son.
That's the problem. You can't. Man. Because now you basically asking guys to play Russian roulette with the thing that they built up in their entire life.
did you play Russian roulette?
Did
you play Russian roulette?
No, but here's the thing though, Bruiser.
He's so blue pill.
I got married at 22. I got married when I didn't have anything. If you take a guy that's 30 or 40 years old that has built up his life, took care of business, didn't have any kids out of wedlock, didn't have, you know what I'm saying, didn't fuck up, didn't do any of that stuff, and he's a strong black dude, chances is he's gonna have to choose from the overwhelming majority of baby mamas, and now you asking him to be a stepfather. But
That's
B,
true.
the family court laws is not in his favor to where
Family
why would he
court
work
laws.
his entire life to fucking give half of it away if he get divorced? You asking this man to basically go under the guillotine.
And I'm glad you said that.
Why,
So
but
that's
why would we advocate for that? Listen, before we advocate for men to start wifing these women, the first thing that we need to get the women to do is advocate for updating the family court laws that they advocate against.
There you go. You want to change a community, you start there. I say again, look at Anton. Look at Anton. I've never heard this brother talk this way. And he's telling Bruiser, you want to fix the fucking community? You get these women to get out here and fix these goddamn court laws. Fix these family court laws. If black women give a shit about the men that they say they care about, which is cap, then you make them do something that is actually against their interest, which is fix these family court laws. Because the government don't give a shit whether we get it together or not. Government don't care. Government said we'll deal with whoever the strongest is. And if y'all fix it, good. If you don't, we don't give a shit. And that's Bruiser's problem. He's realizing that this ain't what you thought it was. The fairy tale is over. He's swallowing the red pill.
They advocate
Amen.
for equal rights, but they advocating against updating family court laws.
Amen.
If you're going to have them equal the playing field, if you want black men, if you want us to say, okay, man, go and marry that chick, then you're going to have equal accountability and equal responsibility of what it is that this man is getting himself into, especially since you can choose for yourself. You can choose whether or not you want to have the kid. You can choose whether or not you want to get divorced. You can choose whether you want to go and work or not. Those family court laws was created at a time that women didn't have the same rights as they have today. So you asking this man to put himself under the guillotine for what?
So what do I say to my son if I want him to have grandkids that look like me?
Get married early when you ain't got nothing?
Thank you. Because that's what I have recently pivoted into. I was on like, hey, look, get married at all costs, get out of these streets, you know, get together, you know, let's reestablish community as quick as fast as possible. So I pivoted. So I think I'm on the right page, and I'm glad you said it. So I pivoted to, hey, look, marry young whenever y'all both ain't got nothing.
Yep. And then even then, try to marry a chick that don't have that many rights.
Thank you. You just helped me out a ton, bro. Because
that's what I would tell him. But for a man that's 30 and 40 years old and has done the right thing his entire life, ain't never been to prison, did the right thing and all of that, I would feel so bad.
I love my sisters, man. I want to see my sisters.
I would feel bad. I love my fellas more.
Shout out.
And I would feel bad putting that man in a position to where he could lose everything. Just as you see what Tyrese is going through.
Yeah, I was in the court. Man, went to court. We was in the court with him.
No way I would advocate for a man to go through what Tyrese is going through.
But you know what's so?
I gotta say this. Bruiser is advocating for these niggas to sacrifice. And he literally just laid out, this is what you're sacrificing for. And he even said himself, like, well, okay, he's on this at all costs, throw my life away type shit. And that's why I said younger dudes are not going for that shit. Younger dudes are not out here advocating for sacrifice, throwing your life away on a forgotten dream. Right? Brothers are not advocating for this. Right? This man Bruiser is talking about, oh, you need to go out here and sacrifice. For what? And he literally broke down the sacrifice. And it's just like, fam, this is what we supposed to sacrifice for? Is you crazy? Is you really crazy? No, nigga, you slacking right now, bro. You slacking. And then, okay, go out here and get married. And just like, hold on. The main man Simeon, he hit the nail on the head. What black woman today is going to marry his broke son? Talk about it. Talk about it. Since you have to live in this fairy tale, this paradigm of must be married, must be black, must be this, and must be that, you fully understand the challenge that's ahead of you. And if that was my dad, I would hate my dad for telling me that, because I'm not living in your goddamn fantasy. I'm living in my fantasy. I don't believe in this must be pro-black bullshit that you keep wanting to spit at me. And that's why a lot of younger brothers are not going with a lot of these Gen Xers are talking about. Not happening. You see how the millennials and zillennials are moving. Don't give a fuck because it don't make sense. I hear a lot of ego and I hear a lot of arrogance. But
so messed up, bro. You know what's really messed up? You know what's messed up? He asked for the fruit of Islam, Nation of Islam, the Christians, the fathers, the black fathers to come down in solidarity to pray with him. Me and Lee Attorney was the only one there. Wow. And I guarantee you, if that was Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, or Taja K in court and said, hey, sisters, I need y'all to come down here and pray with me, they would have been out there, bitch, with thongs up their ass and everything, out there twerking and twerk face up there.
But that's what you want to die for, Bruiser. The fuck are you talking about?
And I can't, in good consciousness, tell a man to do something that's not in his best interest.
But black men don't even rock for black men, though.
Yes,
imagine
yes,
that.
Do.
No, that's not true. That's not true, Bruiser.
Yes,
but why was nobody at the courthouse with us?
Well, Bruiser, you got to think about it from this perspective. I didn't even know that Tyrese was going to court. I think that
You
because
okay?
listen, this is the way it works, Bruiser. The way that men show that they love somebody is by action, right? So the fact that they go to work every day, the fact that they make sure that the lights get cut on and everything like that, guys historically is not like they're not protesters, they're doers. Right? The way that you show that you love the community is not by saying I'm an advocate for women, it's by taking care of your family. You a good man. You doing more than you supposed to it compared to what the average man is doing. That's how you showing that you love your community. You keeping wealth within your community. You keeping your dollar within your community. It circulates much more effectively, right? That's how you show it. That's how men tend to show their love for their people, their community, for their children, or whatever, so on and so forth. That's how we rock.
So it's starting to appear to me that our community is within the walls of your household.
Yes, Bruiser.
Absolutely,
Not-
it is.
Yeah,
Damn, this is a
yeah,
lot to pivot from. I'm
Yeah.
gonna lose some subscribers, man.
yeah.
No, you ain't. You gonna continue to do what you're gonna do, and you're gonna win.
I'm just fucking with you.
You're gonna continue to win.
Right.
All right.
I'm gonna go get my son from
All right,
school.
So. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and slow it on down, and go ahead and wrap it up at this point. A lot of information was given tonight. Go ahead and drop a like, share this information, share the content, and I wanted this topic and this conversation to be talked about because there's so much going on, especially being illustrated in this topic. There's so much going on, especially when you had these different viewpoints, somebody like a Bruiser, and then also somebody like an Anton who is laying out, the perspectives of the manosphere literally in real time, and showing somebody like a Bruiser who is the majority of black men who don't know any better, showing him there is no community. He told him, your community is family. You Negroes are not about to get the reparations because your community is out of order and you don't have a strong backing that is pushing one sound, one beat. You don't have a drum line. So, with that being said, could it happen one day? Maybe. But right now, it's not likely. And I wanted to touch on this to let everybody know that, especially as black men, you don't have to sit here and wait on the government to give you handouts. Go out here and take what it is that you want from the universe. Go out here and get whatever it is that you want in life. Get your passport, move around, be mobile. All right. Go for your best options. Don't wait on no check from the government. All right. Don't get caught up in that bullshit. Get out there and do what you need to do, bro. You know what I mean? Wherever you end up and wind up. All right. Whatever country it may be and wherever it is. All right. I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. Big shout out to all of you guys. Shout out to my ma. Shout out to the family. Main man Simeon Toko was in here holding it down. LXST. Tim Howard, top producer. Where my man's at? Yo, see. Oh yeah, top Jamel was in the building. Shout out to top producer Jamel. I already said Tim Howard. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all for helping me hold down the show tonight. No link tonight. I just wanted to give a little sermon and just give a little something. My little bro was in the building tonight, aka the kid. He was in here holding it down, supporting the channel. For all y'all who dropped the like, drop like, subscribe. Appreciate y'all for supporting the content. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Thanks for joining once again, family. LXST, what's up, cuz? He said, I'm a couple weeks from my 23rd birthday. I burned my cape a long time ago. Don't worry, the younger brothers are doing the work. Salute to you, cuz. You know what I mean? Salute to the younger dudes. You know what I mean? For those of y'all that are younger than me, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, he coming in his 23rd. So, you know what I mean? He definitely, straight up zillennial. You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all younger ones, bro. Shout out to the zillennials out there. Like, I'm glad that a lot more and more of the younger brothers are listening to this content so they can have even more years to make better decisions, have better options, and they don't have to go through and suffer what the older ones who came before, even me, had to deal with. So, like I said, bro, shout out to the young bros in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all supporting and shout out to y'all for listening. You know what I mean? I'm saying. The brother sent me a Toko once again, is, you know what I'm saying, holding it down throughout the whole show. I appreciate you, cuz he said there are places where you can live quality of life. You want it, sure can. You sure can. So yeah, man, we rocked hard tonight. You know what I'm saying? Great show, great topic. Shout out old subscribers, new subscribers. You know what I mean? All my moderators, y'all keep modding, doing your thing, hold it down, and we're gonna get up out of here, y'all. Peace. I'm gone.